Welcome back to the final K. We have got a massive day today in both Belgium and Spain with the fifth stage of the Volta Catalunya and the E3 Saxo Classic. So I'm doing another one where I'm chopping and changing between the both of them at the moment. I'm focusing on the Volta Catalunya. There is 40k to go in the E3 Saxo. I think there's 100 and they're showing a replay, so I can't actually remember, but I think it's 126 kilometers to go in it, so still a few hours left in that before it starts kicking up. It should start to kick up here now in the Volta Catalunya. They are on the second last climb of the day, the Collada Sobrina. I think that's how you pronounce it. The Collada Sobriana, sorry. So that is the climb they're currently on now. There's a breakaway up the road. They have 1 minute and 22 on the 1 minute and 15, sorry, on the peloton. It consists of Marc Soler, Davide Piganzoli, Giulio Chicone, and Rubio from Movistar. So that is who is in the breakaway in the Volta Catalunya. In the E3 Saxo, there is another breakaway. There's two breakaways, one further up the road than the other one, but it's got De Wolf from Decathlon, Truchon from Groupama FDJ United, Luke Durbridge from Jayco, Bystrom from Uno X, Zukowski from Q36.5, and Lamberchet from Team Flanders. There's a group chasing them. Sean Flynn and Renard Haquin from Picnic Post NL, and then Knek, is that how you pronounce it? Knek from Burgos. So they're the two groups. The riders in those, they have 59 seconds on the second group, and the peloton is then 3 minutes and 35 down from the front bunch. But we have got Red Bull and Ineos doing the majority of the work at the front of the peloton here, as they don't have any riders in the breakaway. I think Carlos Rodriguez has dropped for Ineos, and Dorian Gudon has also dropped for Ineos, so Oscar Only is losing quite a lot of teammates here. He's left with himself, Langolotti, Svedstad Bardsang, Bob Jungels, and De Plus. Well, actually, that's a lie. I was just naming the other teams I was naming his other teammates, but I think he's only 3 teammates with him, including himself, so I'm not sure who those two are. But it is unfortunate to see Carlos Rodriguez drop out the back. The 5.7 kilometers till they hit the top of the Collada Sobriana. And there is 39.6k to go. I will get a poll going here. So I will let's do only. And then let's get this poll going. Give me 2 seconds. They are the favourites on the screen for the E3. I couldn't find any odds for the riders, so I've just sort of thrown the favourites together myself, and I added Matteo Trentin in there at the bottom, just because. But so I am just getting the poll sorted here. Apologies for the awkward silence, but let me just think who else. Let's do that, and then I will do a poll for the E3 as well when the Volta Catalunya ends. But at the moment we've got 123k to go in the E3, 38.9k to go in the Volta Catalunya, so the Volta Catalunya should be finishing first. Something to note though, that in the Volta Catalunya there was more winds, so they have chopped off 2.5 kilometers from the top of the climb, so the Col de Pal now is 14.2 kilometers long instead of 16.4. So less climbing on the final climb, but thankfully they didn't cut the full climb out. That is I'm happy to see that. But just 4.8 kilometers to go for the front four in the breakaway. That consists of Marc Soler, Davide Piganzoli, Giulio Ciccone, and Rubio from Movistar. Pardon me. Red Bull and Ineos are doing the pacing. Well, Red Bull are predominantly doing the pacing, but Ineos are still there as well, just in behind them. But both Joao Almeida and Jonas Vingegaard with a recon rider up the top, or up the road, sorry. So potential attacks coming from the pair of them then. Giulio Ciccone has been taking the mountains jersey. I'm surprised not to see Baptiste Weisstroffer in this breakaway. That did surprise me. But Chicone took the 10 points, 5 points, and 10 points on all of the climbs. He'll be looking to take the 10 points on this climb here, the Collada Sobriana. So it looks like he's going for the KOM jersey. You know, he has won the KOM in both the Giro d'Italia and the Tour de France. So he could potentially look to add the Volta Catalunya onto this list, but I don't think there is enough time to do so with the stages remaining. So let me get the this is the stage favourites for the Catalunya today. This is who, yet again, I couldn't find any odds for it, so this is just who I've thrown together. And I forgot to add Onley into it, so I will do that now. I don't know why I forgot about Onley. I forgot about him in the TikTok I made, and I forgot about him here as well. So let me get Oscar Onley. So there's that updated, but there are other favourites as well that I could have missed, but those are the ones I just decided to throw together. Obviously, Remco Evenepoel not on the list. I didn't put him on there because he crashed, so I didn't know how he was going to react to today, but he seems to be pretty strong so far at the front of the peloton with his teammates. The E3 Saxo currently on a set of cobbles at the moment. Not that big of cobbles, as it isn't even marked on the route, but what's the gap now? 57 seconds from Group 2 to the front of the race in E3, and then the peloton is 3:27 down, so 2 minutes down on this group of 3, and the group of 3 is a minute down on the front of the race. But I'm looking for a bunch of fireworks to go off here in this Volta Catalunya. I'm expecting a Jonas Vingegaard attack. It's just who can go with him when he does attack. This is the GC as it stands. I mean, it's drastically changed now as Dorian Gudon has dropped out the back, but that was the GC for the first 4 stages. Dorian Gudon in first, Pidcock second, Evenepoel third, Vingegaard fourth, and then Simone Gualdi in fifth. The points jersey, Dorian Gudon in first. This obviously hasn't changed. They have a intermediate sprint just before the final climb, so Pidcock may get some points at it, but I don't think it is going to change much, as in who's holding it. But Dorian Gudon first, Weisstroffer second, Vernon, Pidcock, Evenepoel. In the KOM, now this has changed virtually. I obviously just haven't updated it, but Weisstroffer is first with 34 points. Virtually now, Giulio Ciccone is in second with 25 points. Sorry, Weisstroffer's got 39 points. But Rubio is now dropped from the breakaway, so it is down to 3. Giulio Ciccone, Piganzoli, and Marc Soler. But he has dropped off. I'm not sure why, but he has. He might have cracked, actually. Youth jersey hasn't changed really at all. There it is there. Actually, there's seconds in it now. For the first 3 stages, there was no seconds, and it just changed every day. But we've finally got a few second gaps. I put only 3 riders in it because after Antoine Lahotte, all the other favourites are just on the same time. So Utebrooks, Lenny Martinez are on the same time as Antoine Lahotte. But yes, let's get back to the favourites. That's my favourites. 36.3k to go. 1 minute and 10 seconds on the breakaway. Red Bull still at the front, Ineos still on their wheel, and then we've got Pidcock is the only teammate left for Q36. He's on the wheel of Ineos, and then we've got Visma just in behind Ineos and Pidcock. So we do. But yeah, Pidcock no teammates. That is unfortunate. I think someone was mentioning in the in another stream that he should change team. I think they just maybe need to get I think they just need to get some riders into a right-hand man, or maybe one or two riders that could climb with him. But if they don't do that, I wouldn't blame him for leaving, because he is on his own with 36.1k to go. That's if he is looking for, GC standings and stuff like that. But 2.2k to the top of the Collada Sobriana. The breakaway for the E3 Saxo, still the same, no changes in it. With the riders out the front, that is. There's 3 chasing them down, and there is 6 riders out the front. But we are coming into the final 30k, so let me change this. That's the wrong thing. $35k to go. Gap slightly increasing now for the breakaway. It was 110, now it is 113, so a slight increase. But it should increase as well a bit more towards the top when they're, I think, of Julius Chicone sprints for the mountains points. Why does my phone keep falling? I'm trying to keep it up because I've got the E3 on the other. I've got the E3 on my phone, so I do. But it keeps falling down. When did they hit the gravel sections here in E3? Don't know why I said that. Sorry, I'm still on the I did my Ken Velvegem preview, so I've said gravel sectors, but that is in that race. So I'm still just getting over that one. Let me actually see. Yeah, so I completely forgot what the E3 route looks like, to be honest. Right, so they've completed they've completed 3 climbs: the Patterberg, the La Hoppe, and the Berg 10 Stene. Then they've got the Oud Kreuzberg, I'm not even gonna try and attempt that one, but they've completed 3 climbs so far. They've got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 left to go. Obviously, that includes the Oud de Quaremont, the Timeberg, Eichenberg, Patterberg. They are all still to go. But, yeah, 117.1k to go in the E3. 35.3k to go in the Volta Catalunya. Let me have a look at the poll. 83% have went with Vingegaard to win. That is my pick, and I went with him as well. So I don't blame that for being the majority. 86. Never mind. Oh, it's changing now. The 86% for Vingegaard, 14% for other. No votes for Lenny or Onley. Lenny did say in an interview before the stage he got sick he felt sick after the Paris-Nice. So is that going to affect him potentially? He looked good in stage 1 at this Volta Catalunya, so I would be surprised if it did affect him. So I would. But yeah, there's 3 races on today actually. The Coppi e Bartali in Italy is also on. There's 26k to go in it, and they're on the final climb, just in case anyone is wondering about that. There's a category 1 climb 20 kilometers from the finish, and they're just about to hit the top of it. So the riders in that are Axel Laurence from Ineos, Mauro Schmidt. Who's the other one? There's another name I remember from it. The Battistella from AF Education, and there's one more that I recognized. Who is it? Diego Ulissi. Sorry, that's the other one from Astana. So they're just showing interviews from people. So they are. Van Baarle's getting interviewed in E3 and Lipowitz is getting interviewed in the Volta. He's another one that the eyes need to be on because, like I said in my preview last week, him and Remco, same race here. First time they've raced together. They did race at that team time trial in Mallorca, but that's the only other race they've raced together. So this is their first stage race together. We haven't really seen Florian Lipowitz. We've seen him attack in stage 3, was it? Yeah, it was stage 2. Yeah, it was stage 2. He attacked it. It was one of the stages, stage 2 or stage 3. He attacked out the front and got caught like immediately, but he did attack out the front there. I was actually surprised to see him do an attack. In a feed zone now, Jonas Vingegaard picking up a bottle. So he was. But yeah, Florian Lipowitz is someone to watch just because of the fact it is him and Remco at this race. Red Bull are now down to 3 riders at the front. One of them being Remco, and I think the other one is Florian Lipowitz at the back. Remco sat second wheel, Florian Lipowitz sat in third wheel. Then we've got 3 Ineos riders in behind them. Then Tom Pidcock, then the Visma crowd. So that makes up the front of the peloton. There is a little Trek rider alongside the Visma, which I assume is Skelmoza. So I do. But the front of the race is just about to hit the top of the climb. I think it's maybe 1.5 kilometers now to the top of the Collada Sobriana. So I will keep you updated to see who gets the points there. But I think does Chicone go in? No, if Chicone wins this, he'll be 4 points off the leaders in the KOM jersey. So tomorrow, Weisstroffer and Chicone battling it out. That'll be good to see if both of them get away. Just seeing if there's any changes in E3. Let me check. Rubio about to get caught here by the peloton in the Volta Catalunya. As for E3, no real changes. Still De Wolf, Trochon, Durbridge, Bystrom, Zukowski, Lampreschet. They're the breakaway. If I pronounce any of them wrong, sue me. But Sean Flynn, Renard, Haquin, and Knecht, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Kminek from Burgos. He's from Czech Republic. But those 3 are chasing the breakaway. Peloton 3 minutes 24 down. And the second group is just a minute down, sorry. But I'm not expecting the E3 to kick off at any time soon. There's still got quite a long time, quite a long time to go. So they do. We're at an ad break now in the Volta Catalunya, so I suppose I will keep my eyes on E3 for the meantime. The riders obviously racing this. I will get the favourites up. So they're my favourites, but the other riders racing are Mohoric, he's doing it. Tobias Lund Anderson, Luc Lamperti, Roman Gregoire. I'd be interested to see Roman Gregoire on this because we've seen him in the gravels at Strada and he got 4th. We've seen him on just one-day races and he's done well. So it's time to see him in this form on the cobbles. So yeah, we've got him. Little Trek have a very strong team, so they do. Lauda Wintermarché, they've got the likes of Berkmos, so they do. NSN bring Beniam Girmay. Movistar bring Ivan Garcia Cortina. Soudal Quickstep with Jasper Stuyven, Dylan Van Baarle. A big team for them. And then Red Bull come with the Van Dijk brothers, Lawrence Pithy, Tratnik, Gianni Vermeersch. So another strong team for Red Bull. UAE come with Florian Vermeersch, UAE come with Florian Vermeersch and Niels Pollitt. Visma Lease Bike, their leader for this is Christophe Laporte. That is my prediction for this race. I think he's going to get it. It is a far stretch, but you never know. Astana, they come with Bettiol. Uno X come with Jonas Abrahamsen. Tudor, Matteo Trentin. Pinarello Q36.5 come with De Gent. And Unibet Rose Rockets, they don't come with either Karpatski or Lucas Kubish. Total Energies come with Anthony Turgis Sudere, who is the main man for Unibet Rose Rockets today. De Vries, possibly. Don't know. I'm not really up to date on their team, but it does look like De Vries maybe. But they have got a decent selection of riders. The second group is now 1 minute and 13 down on the front of the race, and the peloton is 1 minute 3:29 on it. Alex Segard as well, I forgot to mention him. Alex Segard, who had a brilliant past couple of weeks. He got past week, sorry. He had that brilliant breakaway in Norcata Corsa, which he got caught 100 meters to go and ended up finishing 20th in the end. Then he did the exact same thing, attacked out in the Grand Prix de Denon and ended up winning it. So he has looked good on the cobbles, so he has. So he's actually in my fantasy team, so it is just someone else to keep an eye on. Pardon me. So the Giulio Chicone wins the top of the KOM on the Collada Sobriana, so he comes first in it. Piganzoli gets second, Marc Soler third. They're onto the descent now. The peloton is also onto the descent. The gap is 1 minute and 10 between both groups. And then after this descent, they descend down, hit the intermediate sprint, and then it is climbing for 14 kilometers, which I am buzzing for. Then once that ends, straight over to E3. But it's all now, so if anyone would like an update on it, say in the comments, I will give an update. But the main focus at the moment is the Volta Catalunya until it wraps up, unless it all kicks off in the Marc Soler nearly crashing on the descent in a few corners that they look a bit shaky there. Oh. But yes, 182 subscribers at the moment, 18 off 200. So if you are enjoying and you aren't subscribed, don't forget to do so. I do appreciate it. I will have my In Flanders Field from Middelkerke to Wevelgem, or however you pronounce it. I'll have that preview out later today. So I will. I've got it all done, and it should be going out later today. It is on Sunday. Sorry. Van der Poel, Wout van Aert, Mads Pedersen, the likes are riding it, so it should be a good one. But no Wout van Aert at this year's E3. He didn't ride it due to his podium in the Milan San Remo. So we get Christophe Laporte as the leader. Pretty sure it's his first chance at leading in a big race this year. It would either be Matthew Brennan or Wout van Aert, but Christophe Laporte gets the reins for this one. So let's see what he can do. He did get fourth at Omloop. That is why I did choose him. He looked good in the group he finished with at Omloop. Something happened. Don't know if there was a crash from two Visma Lease bike riders, but there was an issue on the descent there, around the same place that Marc Soler had his issue. Yeah, Vingegaard's there. So it wasn't Vingegaard in the issue with the Visma rider. Was it a crash? Yeah, it is. It was a crash. They hit the barrier. EF Education rider, two Visma riders. So it looks like Vingegaard has lost his teammates. I think Seb Kuss is down. Who was it that crashed? 12 for EF Education. Who's that? Steinhauser? Oh, you're kidding. Oh, Steinhauser crashes with two Jumbo Visma riders. I think one of them was Seb Kuss. Another crash, maybe? Another crash? Who's this? UAE. Potentially two UAE riders are down as well. So these hairpins that on this descent are taking everyone out of the big teams. UAE have lost two teammates. Visma have lost two teammates here. I think Vingegaard is on his own. Yeah, he's on his own at the front, is he? Yeah, but he's on his own at the moment on this descent near the front. He's behind the three Red Bull riders leading the peloton. Then there's three Ineos riders I think Pidcock is still there. I think I see another Visma rider, so I think he's got one teammate with him. But he did lose 2 on that descent. I don't know about Joao Almeida and how many teammates he has left. Right, so there definitely is another Visma teammate there. What mountain will the race be split up by Matthew? Ooh. So, we've obviously got the Oak de Quaremont and the Patterberg. They are like a couple kilometers apart. So you could maybe see something happen there. I'm going to go for the... Well, I did say that I think that... I think he's going to get it. I think he's going to attack and he's going to get brought back. So I don't think he will attack on the Patterberg. I think he might attack on the Eau de Quaremont for the last time and then get brought back from it. I don't know. That's just that's my 2 cents. Take what you will with it, but I'll go from the attack on the Eau de Quaremont. He might do it sooner. He might decide, screw it, I want to do this race on my own and attack from further out, but I think possibly the Eau de Quaremont for the last time. Alright, Bobby, all good. So if you are just joining in, we've just finished the second last climb of the day, the Colada Sobriana. On the descent down, Visma crashed. They've lost 2 riders. Pardon me. UAE have crashed. They lost 2 riders. I think it was Seb Kuss that went down for Visma. Tom Pidcock looks to have dropped from the peloton, according to PCS. What has happened here? Was he caught up in the... No, he obviously didn't crash, but was he caught up in potentially a backlog from the crash? I tuned into Volta and yeah, Visma crash. Yeah, it was. Did you seen the breakaway do it? And Marc Soler lost the control. Kuss still on the peloton. That's good. That is good for Vingegaard. But 2 teammates did go down. But that is good. He has still got Kuss with him. George Steinhauser was the one that went down for EF Education in that the Visma 2. So the 3 of them went down. I still don't know who went down for UAE. It looked like UAE on one of the final corners, but I'm not 100% on that. So PCS are just updating the riders in the peloton. So we've got Remco Evenepoel, Jai Hindley, Joao Almeida, Vingegaard, Felix Gall, a teammate for Felix Gall, Richard Carapaz, Michael Leonard, and Enric Mas are what they've got so far. It says Pidcock is 20 seconds down, which isn't good for him. Let me have a look at the poll, see how it is doing. 77% went with Vingegaard, 7% with Lenny, and 14% with other. Hold up, is my PCS stopped? Oh, right, yeah. Sorry, my PCS stopped updating. So, yeah, you're right. Brandon McNulty and Joao Almeida both crashed. Mine stopped updating because I clicked off it to go into a different window. That is a massive blow for Joao Almeida. Massive. And Pidcock did crash. But he must have got up quick. It was Jorgen Nordhagen that went down for Visma. That was one of the teammates. Pidcock went down. But he wasn't there when the cameras panned to it. There was 2 Visma and 1 EF Education. So Pidcock must have got up pretty quickly. It says he's currently 8 seconds down on the peloton. So he mustn't have had a bad crash. Where can you watch the Volta Catalunya from Belgium? Good question. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not from Belgium, so I don't know any of the... Am I even focused? I'm focused now. I don't know where to watch it in Belgium. Apologies, but I'm unsure. I guess just go online and hope for the best. There are 3 certain things in life: death, taxes, and Almeida messing up in a hectic stage. Very good. But yeah, it is unfortunate to see him crash because, like I've mentioned before, he hasn't had the best of a start to his season, and he would have been looking to change that here at the Volta Catalunya after his altitude training before it, but he's crashed. So we've got the front of the peloton here with a group trying to catch on. I think that's a group of Pidcock in it. They should be catching on here pretty soon. But one Red Bull rider left at the front which is Jai Hindley. Then there's 3 Ineos riders after that. And then there is Remco, I think. I think it is Remco. Florian Lipowitz seems to be at the back of this front of the peloton. So does Skelmos. It looks like he's struggling to get onto the back of it. But the breakaway, still 3 riders, Marc Soler, Davide Piganzoli and Giulio Ciccone. They are 1 minute, 2 seconds up the road. Almeida back in the peloton. Sorry, I've just seen that there on my screen now. He is back into the peloton, which is good to see. That is good to see. Leknesson at the back there for Uno X is just shown as well at the back of that peloton. It's still yet to come back together, actually. There still seems to be that wee gap in between it. And now they're back together now. So we've finally got the peloton back together after that hectic descent from the Collada Sobriana. But Vingegaard still only has the one teammate. Still only has the one teammate remaining. Well, he does have, he's Davide Piganzoli up the road, but I'm talking about in the peloton at the moment. I've just seen that. They've went under a bridge and I think they've made a wrong turn. The commentators are saying wrong turn. Oh dear. Oh, that's... The cameras went straight off it when they seen the cars coming down the road. They went into the tunnel. The cameras went off it. Whistles are blowing. So the peloton go the same way. So what has happened? Sorry, I've went silent. I'm trying to figure out what has happened because now the road's clear. The peloton went the same way. The cameras have disappeared again. But now they've picked up at the back of the peloton before they go into the tunnel. I think they're losing reception when they go into the tunnel. So we've just got the helicopter view of the trees. Yeah, that could have went wrong there with the... I don't know why. That's the race organizer's fault for letting the cars down the road. I don't know why that road wasn't closed. But we've got 20k left. No issues, thankfully, due to that possible incident with the traffic. But we've got 20k to go in this race. The breakaway is 54 seconds up the road. E3 has 103 kilometers left. The breakaway is 3 minutes up the road, 3.5 minutes up the road from the peloton, and there is a chasing group on the breakaway that is 1 minute 48 down. So that is what it is currently looking like. Jai Hindley still at the front of the peloton, pacing for Red Bull. After him, 3 Ineos riders, then 2 Red Bull riders, Vingegaard and Kuss, I think. Then there's Skelmose, so yeah, it is Kuss. Then 4 Movistar riders, 3 EF Education riders, and Jayco Alula. So the teams are still together. Quite a few teammates for Movistar, EF Education, Jayco, Bahrain, Decathlon. Red Bull are only down to 3. Ineos are down to 3. Visma are down to 2. I don't know how many UAE are down to. Your money is on Evenepoel. That is a bold prediction, in my opinion, just because of the crash. But I would love to see him keep up with Vingegaard in this. I think it would be brilliant to see. But yeah, how close are we? So the end of the climb of the Col de Pal, 2.2 kilometers off it was cut off because of high winds again, so thankfully they didn't cut the whole climb off. So the final climb is only 14.2 kilometers. We are about 5 kilometers from the bottom of this climb. We still have to do the final intermediate sprint, so I wonder if Pidcock will go for it. Oh, sorry, and he'll not get it, sorry. Mark Soler, Piganzoli, and Chicone up there. There's only 3 spots, so they will get the points. But the reason I said it, I wonder if Pidcock would go for it, because he went for it yesterday when no one else seemed to. He did a big sprint for it. But the peloton now 46 seconds down on the breakaway. And it should start to pick up here within the next 5k, and we'll see all the teams try and get positioning for this climb. E3, they're hitting the fourth hill of the day, the Ode Kreisberg. That is up next. 800 meters, average of 4.8% and a maximum of 9%. So the breakaway have just hit it. Peloton will hit it 3 minutes and 30 seconds later, but intermediate sprint in the Volta Catalunya here. I'm not going to expect anyone to sprint for it. Pardon me. What's going on? Peloton, they were swerving all over the road. I thought there was either a hole or someone was about to go down. But the peloton is all straight line, all single file as they cross the intermediate sprint. Is that Lipowitz with him? I think it is Lipowitz. Lipowitz is 2, Remco Evenepoel 1. I think it is Lipowitz. If it's not Lipowitz, I would be shocked. But apparently Pidcock's not even in the peloton. According to PCS, Pidcock is 1 minute and 40 down the road on the peloton. So he's 1 minute and 40 down the road on the breakaway. 1 minute on the peloton, apparently. I wonder what happened there. But that isn't good for him. The poll still 25 votes. It is 76% for Vingegaard, 4% for Lenny, and 20% for others. So we have got a big selection going for other. If you are voting other, let me know in the chat who you are rooting for or who you think is going to win it. Like I've said before, my prediction is Jonas Vingegaard to get it. Someone there, I've already read it out, but his money's on Evenepoel to get it. But Chicone now attacks off the front of the breakaway, so it is Chicone off the road on his own. Piganzoli and Mark Soler don't have much left, and I mean, they aren't really looking for the stage win. They are just satellite riders for a potential Vingegaard or Joao Almeida attack. But Chicone goes off on his own. He obviously dropped in stage 1 voluntarily because it didn't look like he had any issues. He was talking to his teammate as he did drop, so he obviously had a stage in his sights. Could have been yesterday, could have been today, but it is but obviously it could have been yesterday, but we'll never know because it got cut. But he seems to be eyeing up the win for today, so that'll actually be a pretty surprising win, to be honest. I'm at an ad break now for the Volta Catalunya, so I will turn my attention to the E3 Saxo at the moment. We're finally into the final 100 kilometers. There is 99.6k to go. The chasing group is now 2 minutes down, and the peloton is 3:14 down on the breakaway. Bear with me, I'm going to try and name all the riders in the breakaway. So we've got De Wolf from Decathlon, Trochon from Groupama, Luke Durbridge, Jayco, Bystrom from Uno X, Zukowski from Q36.5, and Lamberchet from Team Flanders. The chasing group is Sean Flynn from Picnic Post. Then there's Renard Haquin from Picnic Post. And then there's a rider from Burgos whose name is stumped me. It's Kminek. If you know what that is, that's his name. But Ale Jonas, Ale Christoph. So the big Visma fan. Going for Jonas and Christoph to win it. To be fair, they're both my picks for today. So I actually never even realised that I picked 2 Visma riders to win today. And if they do, that'll be a big day for Visma. So the peloton has now just hit the Ode de Kreisberg. Like I said before, 4.8% average, maximum 9%, and it is 800 metres long. It is also cobbled. But the peloton is spread across the road with Red Bull on the left, Little Trek dead centre, and Quickstep on the right, with a couple of riders from other teams like Jayco, Visma, Decathlon in the mix. I chose right. I didn't actually realize I picked the two Visma riders. But I think, pardon me. I think the Vingegaard one, unless something drastic happens, I think, or someone is like on Planet Mars form, I think the Vingegaard prediction is pretty nailed on. As for the Christophe Laporte one, it was a bit of a stretch, but we will see. No Alpecin at the front of the peloton at the moment. Someone said I'm on the Volta. Someone said in the E3, just for the thing I did, that Alpecin don't really have a strong team. So they have Tobias Bayer, Tibor Del Grosso, Sylvain Dilly, who was at the front of the peloton doing quite a lot of work at the start of the stage. Then they've Goggle. Then there's Edward Plankert and Oscar Reisbeek. So I suppose it's not their A team, but I mean, when you've Mathieu van der Poel on the team, do you really need a team around them for a cobble race? Realistically, top 3 for Laporte. I think realistically top 5. If I'm honest, I think 3 is 100% up for grabs from the like of Stuyven, Laporte, like we've just said. Stuyven, Laporte, and maybe someone else to throw into the mix as well. Florian Vermeersch as well. I think there will be 3 big riders fighting for 4th. So it looks like we are starting to, the road looks like it is starting to pick up a bit on this final climb up the Col de Pal. Yeah, Vermeersch. 14.8k to go. Now the final climb was 16.4 kilometers. 2.2 was cut, so it is now 14.2. So I think we're on it now pretty much, but I don't think it starts for another 500 meters. Ineos at the front, Decathlon at the front. You know, they've got Felix Gall and Riccatello. So they are the 2 big riders at Decathlon for the GC. So they're at the front with Ineos. Red Bull sort of tucked in behind at Ineos, on Ineos's wheel, sorry. Jayco are on the wheel of the Decathlon team. But on the wheel of the Red Bull team is Seb Kuss and Jonas Vingegaard. What did you spell? You spelled it Vermeersch. That's what you got. You forgot I think you forgot the S. So you went for it with Vermeersch. So you have a minute now on Chicone. Has Piganzoli and Marc Soler been caught? Chiccone's out the front, sorry, if you are just joining in. He was in a breakaway with Marc Soler and Piganzoli. He attacked out the front there about a kilometre and a half ago. Yeah, forgot the S. But Chicone has won the Category 1 climb at the start of the day. Then he won the Category 2 climb. Then the other 2 Category 1 climbs. So he is currently sat on 35 points. Second in the KOM, 4 points behind Weisstroffer. And he's looking for the stage win. Not fair because I'm Dutch. So if Chicone wins this, he goes into the GC and the KOM, and he goes into the KOM with 51 points. Oh. But he is a minute up the road, and we've still a big attack yet to go for the GC riders in the peloton. Don't worry, I knew how to spell, just autocorrect. Yeah, that old chestnut, just autocorrect. Forgot to change it again, so we've got 13.8 kilometers to go. I'm going to change it to 10 because I will forget to when it changes to 10. I was going to change it to 13, but with 13.7k to go currently. It says 10 on the screen, just ignore it, but mom's life. Okay, I believe you. But if you didn't know, or you are joining in, Visma had 2 riders crash on the descent of the Calada Sobriana. Pidcock crashed on that descent with him. George Steinhauser was in that mix as well. Then a bit further down the descent, 2 UAE riders went down, Brandon McNulty and Joao Almeida. They've made it back onto the back of the peloton here. Tom Pidcock hasn't. According to PCS, he's still a minute and 40 down on Chicone, so a minute down, 40 seconds down in the peloton. And we've got Dutch language in the chat, which I can't read, so God knows what is being said. But yeah. Yeah, I've no clue what the. I think I need to learn Dutch. Rider from Decathlon. Rider from Decathlon dropping out the back. Who was it? Because I actually seen his number, so let me check who it was. It was, and of course it's someone I can't pronounce, Johannes Mitmet, or whatever it is. Shame for Pidcock, I had him to finish on the podium. It is actually a shame for Pidcock, especially after the Milano-Torino and the Milan-San Remo. Maybe he knows he's dropped and he thinks the legs, he just thinks there's no point. There's a stage tomorrow that I could go for the win. Maybe he's give up, or well, not give up, but maybe he goes here. Like GC seems to be not on the cards, and I don't want to waste my legs for a potential stage win in stage 7 at Barcelona or even tomorrow. But it's just a shame we won't get the same compete in the high Spanish mountains like we did in the Vuelta last year. 30 people in here. Welcome. I will do my shameless plug. I'm live for all the World Tour races this year, so if you are enjoying it, don't forget to subscribe. We're 18 subscribers off 200, so we have grown quite a bit in the past week. So yeah, don't forget to like the video as well and subscribe. I do appreciate it a lot. I'm live for Gent-Wevelgem, or in Flanders Field from Middelkerk to Wevelgem on Sunday. I'm live for the Volta Catalunya to the end of the week. Then next week with Tour of Flanders, Dwarsdorf Vlaanderen, and then we've more big races to come. But 12.7k to go in the Volta Catalunya Stage 5 with a breakaway of Chicone up the road. He's a minute. Marc Soler and Piganzoli are 21 seconds down on Chicone. The E3, 94.1 kilometers to go. 2 minutes for the chasing group, or 2 minutes 40 for the chasing group, and 3 minutes 20 for the peloton. So it looks like the peloton are going to catch in a moment. There's a conversation going on in the chat in Dutch. I don't have a clue what is being said. Bronx, New York is in the house. Welcome. How are you, my friend? 12.5k to go. Is there any changes in the breakaway, for the E3? No, still the same riders. De Wolf, Tronchon, Durbridge, Bystrom, Zukowski, Lambrachet, if that is how you pronounce it. Chasing group, Sean Flim, Renard, Haquin, and then a rider from Burgos from Czech Republic. He's 205 on his back, and I can't pronounce his name at all. Anything else at the front? Carlos Rodriguez has made it back onto the back to the peloton, so he's sat third wheel in the peloton now. What happened to PCS? So Carlos Rodriguez is back. Oscar Onley is sat in second wheel. I didn't take note if he was leading for anything else, but how is Remco? Looks pretty comfortable. He has been at the front of the peloton all day with Red Bull teammates Florian Vermeer, jeez. Red Bull teammates Florian Lipowitz and Jai Hindley. They're the only two remaining at the moment. But he looks pretty comfortable. They haven't really had to do... Well, Red Bull have had to do quite a lot of chasing. I think he's only down to 2 teammates. No, he's down to 3 still. Or 2 teammates, but there's 3 Red Bull riders there, including himself. But he hasn't had any issues so far. Who is that for Ineos at the front? I can't tell by looking at him. I need to see his number. So I would. How do I think the finale will go in the Volta? Well, I definitely am expecting a Vingegaard attack at some point, but I don't know if he will be the first to attack or someone else will attack. There's Marc Soler and Piganzoli getting caught by the peloton. No, just Marc Soler on his own. So Marc Soler drops back. I don't know if Remco might attack or Florian might attack. We've seen Florian attack, in one of the earlier stages. Only may attack. Lenny Martinez. There's that many good GC riders in this race. Is Ineos at the front because Only is feeling good, or just because they want him to do well? Well, I think they want to bring Chicone back for a start, and I think Red Bull, they've done the majority of the work today, so they haven't. Sorry, Red Bull have done the majority of the work today, so Ineos have really just sat on the wheel for Red Bull, and I think it's now Ineos' turn to go. Only must be feeling good if he sat second wheel with Rodriguez in third wheel, so maybe when the rider for Ineos at the front drops off, either Carlos Rodriguez goes to the front, or we might see a wee attack from Only at some point. Keelik attack in E3. Okay. Any idea if my team looks good for this game? E3 Saxo, Van der Poel, Girmay, Mohoric, Florian Vermeersch, Gianni Vermeersch, Jonas Abrahamsen, Sebastian Andersen, Ben Turner, and Plank. Sounds pretty good to me. You've got Van der Poel in there, Mohoric as well, in case he decides to do well. Both Vermeersches. Jonas Abrahamsen, who's looked pretty good in some attacks and some breakaways. Sebastian Andersen, who has been brilliant this year. Ben Turner as well, good option for Ineos. And Plankart. I miss Girmay as well, but I don't think Girmay is going to be in the finale for this. But you never know. You never know what way it's going to end, if he can hang on or Van der Poel goes out. But it is a good team. Remco don't have the attack to hurt any of the pure climbers. I think if there is going to be an attack from Red Bull, I think it will be Florian Vermeersch, because we did see him attack, like I said, in an earlier stage. I don't know why he did attack then, but I wonder what Joao Almeida is going to do after his crash. There's someone dropping from Bahrain. It is Jakob Omerzel. Dropping out the back of the peloton now. He did some work for Bahrain. I seen him on the right hand side of the road doing some work for Bahrain. He's obviously finished. Baron Mouton as well from Modern Adventure Pro Cycling. And a rider from NSN. Jan Hurt from NSN. He drops out the back. Not obviously doesn't drop the stage. He drops out the back of the peloton. There's Davide Piganzoli getting chased down from the peloton now. He's about to get caught. There's a minute from them to Chicone. 10.7k to go. So we have officially started the climb. Let me get the climb up on the... I should have actually got the profile of the climb to show you, but if we have 10k to go from a 14k climb, let me put the 10k to go. So we've still got a steep bit to go here. Wait, what? Why is it 16.8 now with 6.7? I don't know what way they've done this, but it was originally 16.4 kilometers with a 7.2% average. The top chopped 2.2k off. Nairo Quintana dropping out at the back of the peloton. A cycling legend who just announced his retirement there before the start of this race. He finishes his career after the Volta España at the end of the season. But yeah, the Col de Pau was meant to be 14.2 kilometers. Now it's 16.8, so I don't know where they chopped the 2.2k off the top from. But we are about to hit a very steep section. If we're only 4k in. If we're 10k left, never mind. There we go, an attack on the left from someone from Quickstep. I don't know what I'm talking about for the profile for the climb. I don't know what happened, but someone from Mikel Landa attacks out the front. I think that is Lipowitz following here. Bahrain trying to close the gap to the two of them. But it is good to see Mikel Landa stick a wee attack out there. So Florian, or why am I calling him Florian Vermeersch? Florian Lipowitz goes. There's Lenny Martinez and Felix Gall closing the gap on those two. Lenny Martinez has a teammate with him. But we're finally seeing the first bit of attacks. Landissimo. Yeah, like Landa's first race of the year. It is good to see him attack on the first GC day of the year. But no movement from It looks like Ineos are getting out of the saddle here, trying to close this gap, but the front riders at the group at the front, Felix Gall, why have I just had a mind blank? Felix Gall, Florian Lipowitz, Lenny Martinez, and Mikel Landa. Landa then gets out of the saddle and does another attack with Felix Gall following. Peloton have caught on just about to catch onto the back of this group of 3, which Mikel Landa has attacked from. They were a group of 5, but Gall and Landa attacked out the front. Small bike link gap between Florian Lipowitz and Mikel Landa now. But it is all the riders out the back here of the peloton waving side to side, struggling. But now gaps are starting to open here. It looks like Skelmos is getting caught out. I think he's closing it down comfortably. Yes, he does. He closes it down pretty comfortably. So Visma have 2 riders. Oh, you're kidding. Phone call, no way. Apologies there, I've lost. Right, I'm back. So Bahrain have a few riders. Red Bull still have Lipowitz and Remco. Ben O'Connor's still there. Movistar have a few riders. Hopefully that is Maas and Utebrooks. Yeah, I put Girmay because you never know. Exactly, you never know. If there is an attack and they get brought back, and Biniam Girmay just seems to be there in the group in a sprint. I mean, Biniam Girmay is probably one of the strongest ones in a sprint at this race. Only 20 guys left. Another attack from Felix Gall. Florian Lipowitz tries to go with him. Who's that from Movistar? Is that Utebrooks or Maas? But we've got Gall attacking out the front. Florian Lipowitz trying to get under the wheel. Then we've 2 riders just behind them. Movistar and I think it's Lenny Martinez. So Lenny Martinez is caught under the back of Florian Lipowitz and Felix Gall. Who is that? Is it Utebrooks from Movistar? It is Utebrooks. So he's the rider from Movistar trying to get under the back of this front 3. Giulio Ciccone, completely forgot about him. He is 47 seconds up the road. 9k to go here. There is 86.3 kilometers left in E3, just in case anyone was wondering. But 9 kilometers to go in stage 5 of the Volta Catalunya with Felix Gall, Florian Lipowitz, Lenny Martinez and Kian Utebrooks out the front. I don't know how many seconds. I'd say maybe between 5 and 10 seconds up the road. But it has definitely opened up. Still no reaction from Onley, Remco or Vingegaard, but it looks like Visma are pacing at the front of the peloton now. Obviously Remco doesn't have to react. He will obviously be reacting when Vingegaard does. He will let Florian Lipowitz go off and do his own thing. But it is good to see Florian Lipowitz looking good on this climb. Juan Pedro Lopez from Movistar, is it? I've just seen that there as well on PCS. So Juan Pedro Lopez, not Kian Utebrooks. 152. And so Maas and Utebrooks are at the back of the peloton. I just seen them there. I've seen their numbers. Carlos Rodriguez from Ineos now drops off the back of the peloton. It's his second. Gall now attacks again off the left-hand side of the road. Florian Lipowitz trying to follow. Juan Pedro Lopez from Movistar has nothing left in the tank, so it is up to Lenny Martinez and Florian Lipowitz to do some attacks here. So these guys are attacking, and we still have massive riders to attack left. But now don't forget, Felix Gall attacked in the UAE Tour, both on the Jebel Hafid and the Jebel Mabra. He attacked too early and got caught on both of them. So is this potentially another attacking too early situation? And he also has a teammate, Riccatello. I don't know if he's still in the peloton, but he has had a pretty good season working for Paul Sexas as well. Please don't tell me that's him. I've just said that. That's him. What number is he? Is he 2 or 3? No, he's 2. So that's a teammate dropping out the back there for the Decathlon. I thought I just scuttled him. So I see Joao Almeida. He is about 5 or 6 riders from the back of this peloton group. He's still got a teammate in front of him though, which is good to see. What's the poll looking like? The poll's still 73% for Vingegaard, 5% for Lenny, and 23% for other. So Gal has been caught by Florian Lipowitz and Lenny Martinez. Chicone 34 seconds up the road now. 8.2k to go. A very good display from Chicone. Winning all the mountains points and attacking obviously in the breakaway and still out the front with 8 kilometers to go. Visma pacing at the front. That is Seb Kuss with Vingegaard on the wheel. Remco on the wheel of Vingegaard. Carapaz, it looks like, on the wheel of Remco. Skelmos on the wheel of Carapaz. The names that are still left in this peloton yet to do a move or an attack. That's if they've got anything left. They could just be there because they are like struggling to hang on. But when someone does do attack, that's them done. The 3 riders out the front, just behind Chicone and just in front of the peloton, is Felix Gall, Florian Lipowitz and Lenny Martinez, if you are just joining. Tom Pidcock, he's completely dropped out of the peloton. He had a crash on the descent of the Collada Sobriana with a couple of Visma riders and George Steinhauser from AF Education. Then a further bit down from that descent, Joao Almeida and Brandon McNulty crashed, but they were able to get back onto the peloton. Right, there seems to be stuff kicking off here in the E3 as well. So there was a big attack out the front, and it has the likes of Edward Plankard, Dan Hula, Connor Swift, Edward Toons. Either that or the peloton has caught the... Don't know what's going on in the E3. I'm going to focus on the Volta Catalunya at the moment, but it does look like things are starting to kick off in E3. There's Joao Almeida dropping out the back. Oh no, Joao Almeida is dropping at the moment. After that crash, it might have taken a bit of a toll on him, but... Oh dear. For all the Joao Almeida fans, doesn't look good at the moment. He did crash, I did mention that. Carapaz looks to be dropping as well. There's a rider from Movistar, I think that might be Utebrooks. But a lot of big GC names now dropping. Don't forget, Carapaz and Joao Almeida both have the Giro d'Italia to do in May. And Carapaz's schedule, this is all he has left to ride until the Giro. Hopefully he does add a few more races on, but Joao Almeida, I'm not sure what riders he has left to ride before it. No, this is, according to PCS, this is Joao Almeida's last race before the Giro, and they're both going in on not the best form, so they may need to get into the training. Don't forget as well, UAE have lost 2 riders. Ivo Oliveira and Jay Vine both had a crash in stage 3. Carapaz has now dropped. It looks like Joao Almeida is starting to get back onto the peloton. I don't know if that is another group that has dropped, but he's getting onto the back of some group. Pretty sure he's fine. That's good to see. I thought he had dropped because he didn't have any teammates with him. And I hope that he hasn't blown. Lenny Martinez now at the front of this group of 3. Felix Gall in second and Lipowitz in third. Seven kilometers to go now, 6.9. He always does this. Well, someday he's going to do it, and he will drop out the back, pace himself, and Vingegaard's going to attack as an attack out the front from, is it Vingegaard? I think it is Vingegaard attacking out the front now. Remco Evenepoel on the wheel. Who's that in third wheel? Might be Riccatello. I'm not sure. Or Skelmose. I can't. They're showing a helicopter shot here, but I can see the first 2 riders being Vingegaard and Remco. There's another rider on Remco's wheel, and then there's a gap to 2 riders. But here we go, the launch from Vingegaard. Right, here we go, cameras on the road. So it is Vingegaard, Evenepoel, Mikel Landa is the one that is on third wheel. Vingegaard launched straight onto the back of the wheel of the motorbike, and the motorbike sped off on him. It's just trying to get some of that draft. I mean, if you're going to speed off, don't be in that position to begin with when you know a rider going that speed up this climb is going to launch into your draft. So I think that is Riccatello in fourth wheel, but Vingegaard, Remco, Landa, Riccatello, Scalmoza, rider from Astana, and I think that is Enric Mas as well. No, it's not. Enric Mas is dropping. I think that is Utebrooks from Movistar that has made it across to the group. Enric Mas seems to be done. So I don't know why they called it Group Evenepoel when Vingegaard is in it. But the rider from Astana is, I scrolled past him, it is Fortunato. So that is who it is for Astana. Him and Utebrooks seem to have dropped off a bit from this group, but it is still Scalmoza, Riccatello, Evenepoel, Landa, and Vingegaard chasing down Felix Gall, Florian Lipowitz, and Lenny Martinez. As Landa and Vingegaard both go, a gap from Evenepoel opens up. They're about to bridge across to the Felix Gall group. Does Remco have anything left in the tank to get to Vingegaard? Mikel Landa now out of the saddle. Vingegaard moves to the front of that group. They've caught the group of three. Scalmoza and Riccatello on the wheel of on the wheel of Evenepoel. They go around the bend. We got maybe a camera, right? So Florian Lipowitz, is he maybe dropping back? He looks over the shoulder. There's a gap opening between him and Landa. But Jonas Vingegaard at the front doing what he does best with Gall on the wheel, Lenny Martinez in third, Landa out of the saddle with about a bike length between himself and Lenny Martinez, then Florian Lipowitz right on the wheel of Mikel Landa. So Vingegaard has made his move. One has been able to follow, that being Mikel Landa, so he's caught onto the front group. The only one able to follow is Mikel Landa. There's Giulio Ciccone, 9-second gap. That's for the Evenepoel group. Giulio Ciccone has about a 3-second gap on Vingegaard as he gets caught, sits up. As Vingegaard goes through, is Gall able to hold on? Mikel Landa seems to be struggling now, but it looks like everyone is blowing up here. Camera pans back. Only completely forgot about him. Sorry, that's Parry Pantry. What am I? Mikel Landa's gone. What is going on here? I forgot Parry Panther was riding it. Vingegaard has completely blown the whole race apart as he distances the group of four. The cameras can't even pick up what's going on. They showed Vingegaard on the screen and said Evenepoel. So God knows what is happening here, but massive, massive push from Vingegaard. 5.7k to go. It looks like we're getting a solo victory. 5.6k. Remco in his group is Riccatello, Scalmoza, Utebrooks, and Fortunato from Astana. Florian Lipowitz now attacks from the chasing group on Vingegaard, which has Parry Pantry, Lenny Martinez, Gall, and Chicone. Lenny Martinez tries to go with him on the wheel. Felix Gall struggling a bit, but no, they all come back together again. According to PCS, 10 seconds from Vingegaard to the Florian Lipowitz group. But look at that, just on a different level, like. Pardon me. There's Remco. He is a decent bit down the road. He's about 20 seconds on group 2. Sorry, that's a lie. He's 20. Sorry, I'm on about. He's 20 seconds on Vingegaard, but it's actually 30 seconds. The second group is 20 seconds on Vingegaard. So I wonder if Remco will be able to pull back the first group. Chicone drops out of that first group, so we're down to 4 in the chasing group. That is Florian Lipowitz, Parry Pantry, Felix Gall, and Lenny Martinez. Chicone drops back and waves at Scalmoza. I don't know what he was trying to do there, but he puts his hand out for Scalmoza. But Vingegaard, I think it's safe to say Vingegaard has won it with 5k to go. It just depends how much he's going to win it by. 18 seconds is the gap. You can just slightly see them come around the corner on in the distance of Vingegaard. What is happening in E3? E3's kicking it. Come on, let's get this Volta. Let's get this one finished. Remco's not the future. Red Bull, Lipowitz, and Pellizzari are the future. For GC future, I agree, but as for, I wouldn't say Remco doesn't have a future. He's like the best time trialist in the world, and he's good at one-day races as well, depending on which one it is. But I'd say for the future of GC, I would possibly have to agree with you, yeah. But Remco is like he's still the future of cycling, in my opinion. Like, he's still got God knows how many years with time trial, world championships, and one-day races. Who can beat Remco in any stage race? Vingegaard? Pogacar? I think if that's what you mean. But Felix Gall now attacks from the Florian Lipowitz group and gets a gap. Florian Lipowitz trying to close the gap with Lenny Martinez on his wheel and Patterberg on the wheel of Lenny Martinez. Camera now back on the group of Uterbrooks, Skelmoser, Remco and Riccatello. Fortunato still there as well. He's actually at the front. Oh, who can he beat? Oh, right, yeah, sorry, I read it wrong. Florian Vermeersch has an issue with his bike in E3. Looks down. It seems to be a mechanical. I'm not sure what is going on. Is he going to raise the hand? Yep, hand up in the air. Shake of the head. Something has happened with Florian Vermeersch in E3. So who can Remco beat in a stage race? Well, he came third at the Tour de France, so he seems to. It looks like he can beat everyone else, but I think it just depends. Oh wait, do you mean? I don't even know. I don't know if I'm reading it wrong. My head's all scrambled at the moment. What gradient on the climb? Let me see if I can get. So we've got 4 kilometers to go. Let me get the. We're sitting. It's averaging now It's averaging out now about 6 to 7% now from now to the finish. 6.5. 6.5, 7% in and around that to the finish. I think the final kilometer is a bit less than that. Oh, I know he's a top. In my opinion, I would say he is I would agree top 10 maybe GC rider, but he just isn't as good as Vingegaard and Pogacar, which is obvious at this point. But I think a lot of factors need to be in place for Remco to potentially win a stage race like this. Like if there was a big time trial, but yet again, Vingegaard is unreal at time trials. You would probably need Vingegaard to crash and there to be a massive time trial that Remco can just take a massive chunk out. 7.2 average. Fortunato now attacks out the group of Riccatello, Remco, Chicone and Uterbrooks. Remco 24 was the closest version of a rider. Yeah. I should do more coverage of the Irish scene. I actually, I know it's not the Irish scene, but I think I'm planning on going to the, I might go to the Irish National Champions. I might go down to that race and see it. Yeah, but then you need to also tie into the fact that I guess it's not the best excuse, but Remco did crash. I will throw that in there. He did crash, but yeah, I guess that is a potential factor. 3.2k to go. Vingegaard here has a minute here. He's 47 seconds. He is blowing this race to pieces as they hit the final 3k. Vingegaard's about to hit the final 3k. Gall at the front, Lipowitz second, Martinez in third, and Patterberg in fourth. That is the group chasing. Fortunato, is he... So he attacked out of the Remco group, and then he must have dropped because he's now getting back onto the Remco group. As the Remco group is looking, I think Skelmos is in first, Remco second, Uterbrooks third, Riccatello 4th, and Fortunato now just made it onto the back. He's now sat in 5th wheel with 3 kilometers to go exactly. Remco's a minute and 16 down on Vingegaard. Yeah. 40 seconds now, Catalunya in the bag for Jonas. Yeah, it is Vingegaard. It says 2.9, but Vingegaard has just passed the 3 kilometer banner now. Yesterday's stage was shortened. Fortunato going well. To be fair, in my opinion, the crash doesn't matter because it's a reoccurring issue for Remco. What happened to Pidcock? So Pidcock, when they finished the last Category 1 climb, there was a descent. Bit of issues on it with the breakaway. Mark Soler nearly came off, but then when the peloton hit it, first to crash was 2 Visma riders, George Steinhauser and Pidcock. Then a wee bit more down the road, Joao Almeida and Brandon McNulty crashed through a technical descent, which quite a lot of favourites or big names went down on. And he hasn't made it back to the peloton, and he's probably thinking, like I said earlier, GC's out of the bag here. Let me go for the stage win possibly tomorrow or in Barcelona. So I think that's what he will be focusing on, especially after the fatigue that everyone seems to be talking about from the Milan San Remo. After every stage he gets asked that question, how are the legs after the San Remo? And he always answers, at the start of the stage when we're riding lightly, it feels awful, but then when it starts to get hard, then they ease up and everything starts to feel better. But 2.5k to go. Sitting at 47 seconds now. It hasn't increased recently. Still got the same 4 riders chasing. But Remco Evenepoel now 1 minute and 30 down. Yikes. Yeah, if Vingegaard, I seen. Doesn't matter. Ignore me. I was gonna say something. Doesn't matter, right? Vingegaard 2.3k to go. E3 72.3k to go. I need to see what's going on in E3. At this rate, he will be off the podium. The great Vingegaard. I know you should. Yesterday I called Mads Pedersen Matterson, so we've got Matterson and Vingegaard. Parry Panther now struggling to stay on the back of Lenny Martinez's wheel in this chasing group. I'm not surprised that Mikel Landa has dropped just because it is his first race, but I'm actually surprised I'm surprised that Parry Panther is sticking here. So I am, because he did do quite a lot in the Paris-Nice with attacks on his own, so I thought it would have been working more for Mikel Landa. But he seems to be not comfortable anymore. He seemed to be comfortable in that attack and holding on. Another goalie, Vingegaard. Breaking news, the Arrow Bullet will be demoted to lead out duties for me. So Felix Gall is now dropping. It seems to be Florian Lipowitz and Lenny Martinez going off on their own. Felix Gall just a couple bike. No, he's caught back up. Never mind. Disregard that. But Parry Panther seems to have gone for the meantime as they hit 2 kilometers. Jonas Vingegaard has got 1.7k to go. So I will change. I'm not going to change it to 1.7. I'll change it to 1. How about that? 52 seconds it is at now. Helicopter's got the camera on the trees with Jonas Vingegaard just. You can slightly see him sometimes, but it is majority trees. It's 5 seconds off a minute now, and it is another big stage tomorrow. But I think if Vingegaard gets enough of never mind. Good old tree climb. 50 plus viewers is huge. Yeah, I know. I forgot about everyone watching, but Skelmuza puts in a big acceleration here. Not in this, he doesn't get out of the saddle for it, but we've got. Is that George Bennett? Or am I being stupid? That's George Bennett from NSN. Is that the New Zealand jersey or am I being blind? So George Bennett, Evenepoel attacked out the front with someone from, Ben O'Connor. Skelmuza now brings him back. George Bennett from NSN is in this group. What has just popped up my Utebrooks is there. Riccatello, Fortunato, so that is group 3, which according to PCS is being classed as the peloton now, but group 2, Valentin Parry Panther makes it back. We've got 64 people in here, so whilst we're here, I will just say it. 18 subscribers off the 200. Well, that's what it's on my screen. I don't know what it is now, if I've gotten any, but I appreciate all the support at the moment. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I'm live for the rest of the week for the Volta Catalunya. I'm live for E3 straight after this race. I'm live for Ghent-Wevelgem or in Flanders Field from Middelkerk of the Wevelgem. Dwarsdorp Tour of Flanders, Paris-Roubaix. I'm live for everything, so I am. But I'm going to try and go live for everything. So if you do enjoy this, don't forget to subscribe and follow along. I'm losing my voice now. But I should have actually, that has been up the entire time. I'll change that to this for however many minutes are left. But we've got 800 meters now. Vingegaard is now 1 minute and 6 seconds up the road. Felix Gall attacks out the front of this group of 4. Florian Lipowitz and Lenny Martinez trying to follow. Valentin Paris-Pantry looks to be, he made it back on, but I think it is going to be 5th for him. He's out of the saddle, but I think it is, I hope he gets back on. That'll be pretty good for him. Lenny Martinez on the wheel of Florian Lipowitz, who is chasing down Felix Gall as Felix Gall hits the 1 kilometer banner. The group chasing that Florian Lipowitz group that is 1 minute 40 down has Evenepoel, Chicone, Skelmoser, Fortunato, Riccatello, Utebrooks and Ben O'Connor, as well as George Bennett. So a lot of big names and a lot of groups and a lot of unexpected names in these groups as well. So it has been a very successful, and we've just looking at the E3 now, we're on some climb. I don't even know which one it is, but there's 70k to go. Riders from Red Bull putting in a big acceleration at the front. Yeah, I completely forgot about Almeida. That's what I was saying. Someone said he was, I think Bobby, you said he was doing his own pace, but then Vingegaard attacked, and if he was doing his own pace, if that was what was happening, and Vingegaard has attacked, he's missed out on that opportunity. But he did crash earlier on. But a massive acceleration in the E3 as Jonas Vingegaard comes around the final couple twists and turns towards the finish line. It is Tim van Dijke. Van de Poel moves to the wheel of Tim van Dijke. So we're getting big accelerations here in E3 as Jonas Vingegaard now seems where's the finish line? Come on, finish line is close. I guess, yeah. It wasn't. I guess it wasn't his fault, I suppose. But Jonas Vingegaard kisses the ring, hands off the handlebars. Jude Bellingham celebration, crosses the line in first place. We will see what the time gaps are here, but the E3 is kicking off massively. Felix Gall has got his. Florian Lipowitz hits 400 meters to go. Felix Gall is up the road on his own in second. There's the camera on Enric Mas and Mikel Landa. They have distanced quite a bit here. But a massive effort from Felix Gall. He's definitely improved a lot from the UAE Tour, where he attacked too early and got caught twice. He attacked early in this one, but it has seemed to pay off as he's going to get a podium finish at the La Molina in the Volta Catalunya Stage 5. Matthew going a bit too early for us to catch it. I know, I'm raging. I've got it here, but I've got the commentary turned down. But he's went with Tim van Dijke. Felix Gall crosses the line in second place, 50 seconds down. So he gets under the minute. I will see who gets... Oh, big acceleration from Lenny Martinez. Florian Lipowitz tries to get back under the wheel, but it is going to be Lenny Martinez in third, Florian Lipowitz in fourth, Valentin Paris-Pantry in fifth. A massive result for Valentin Paris-Pantry with the GC favourites. Mikel Landa here is now in the group with Remco Evenepoel. George Bennett dropping a bit, but Remco Evenepoel leading this group into the finish line with Utebrooks on the wheel. Skelmoser, Fortunato, that's how you pronounce it, Ben O'Connor, Riccatello, and Landa. That is the order which they are in. I think it is Utebrooks. I'm not sure if it... No, it is Utebrooks. It is not Mas. But Remco comes in sixth, a minute and... Oh, I thought that was the final corner. So what are we looking at? A minute and 37 down. That was a big acceleration from Remco at the end there. I'm surprised he had that in the tank. So is that... I'm surprised he had that in him at the end there. Here comes Joao Almeida now around the corner. I'm not sure what position he is finishing in. But he crosses the line a minute and 59 seconds down. So 2 minutes down for him. Another successful UAE. You have a hard time in Poggi or Del Toro, aren't there? Yeah, it is looking at, and here just to think, Joao Almeida has been given the reins for the Giro d'Italia and the Vuelta. Here's Onley now. I think he got the reins for the Vuelta, but he's definitely not at the Tour de France. That's Del Toro. Oscar Onley crossing the line 2 minutes and 27 seconds down. Now he was obviously ill in the. He crashed and got ill at the Paris-Nice and had to abandon, so it's good to see him back here. But he is 2 minutes down. I am now swapping over to the E3 here. I'm going to get the Volta Catalunya on the smaller screen now, but I need to see what has happened here. Right, so they're just showing a replay of the Tim van Dijk attack. And I need to change this all over now. Right, so here's the favourites for E3. They're not, I've just got a bunch of names, put them together, and this is what we are looking at. Let me get the, it's going to say there's like 100 kilometers left here, isn't it? No, it's the Ronde van Bruges, that's the wrong one. That's the Volta Catalunya. Where's my, there it is there. 130, so that is wrong. Let me change that now. So we've got 66 kilometers, so I will go 65. I will have a look and see what is that gonna, right, and then the bit along the bottom can go like this. So along the bottom are all the hills that are going to be happening in this race. Right, I will wait for the full results for the Volta Catalunya to happen, but let us see what is going on here in the E3 Saxo Classic. If anyone cared about the copy, Bartali, Tommaso Datti wins it. Maro Schmidt in second and Ulissi in third. Right, E3, 65.6k to go. Let's see the groups here. What is happening? So the breakaway, still the same 6 riders from the start of the day. We've got De Wolf from Decathlon, Truchon from Groupama, Luke Durbridge, Bystrom, Zukowski, and Lamberchet from Team Flanders. Apologies for pronunciations, but in the chasing group, which is 1 minute and 19 down, is Edward Blankert, Dan Hula, Connor Swift, Edward Toons, Pepijn Reinderink, Timo Killick, and Anthony Turgis. And I think Evenepoel, oh no, don't. I think Tim van Dijk and Van der Poel have just made it onto this group, so that is group 2. Peloton is 1 minute and 46 down, so they are 14 seconds down on the Van der Poel group. Right. Damn, only disappointed me. I think Pog will show up at the Vuelta. You think so? Well, it all depends on what happens in the Tour de France. But I think if he feels pretty good after it, and he had a good Tour de France, and depending on Joao Almeida's performance in the Giro, UAE could go to him and say, "Here, look, we need you here in this Vuelta." So that is probably when he could go. Oh. So if you are just joining, massive day in the Volta Catalunya, which seen Jonas Vingegaard take the win there by 50 seconds in and around that. I think this year he wants to win everything he hasn't won. Yeah, he's riding, his schedule is literally like, his schedule is just all the monuments, the Romandy, the Swiss, and the Tour de France. It is just, hence the soft start to, I wouldn't even call it a soft start. I think he wants to win all the monuments. So he doesn't want to ride anything in between other than the Strade Bianche, which was his first race, which he won, but he doesn't want to ride anything in between in case of a crash. But he wants to win all the monuments, then the Romandy, the Swiss, and then go on to the Tour de France. And then assess his options after the Tour de France. But my hot take for Pogačar this season was that he was going to be beaten in a stage race. I don't think that is going to happen now. So let me have a quick look at this poll. So 71 votes, 75% went with Vingegaard, 6% Lenny, 3% only, 17% others. So if you were a part of that 75%, well done, you got it correct. I went for Vingegaard as well. As in, like, not a lot of stage races and classics. Yeah. Right, so let me go. Winner of E3. Rog will beat him in the Swiss. Ooh. Patterson is in the peloton. Connor Swift now dropping from this second group with Van der Poel in it. But the gap has increased now from, it was about 13 seconds when Van der Poel made it on. He had a teammate with him. Tim van Dijk now struggling. Anthony Turgis struggling. Killick struggling. But it looks like Mathieu van der Poel is off on his, he's up the road on his own. Oh dear. Oh dear, this isn't good. We have 63k off a Mathieu van der Poel solo win. Oh no. That is probably the worst thing that could have happened. obviously brilliant for him, but right, I'm going to change this. Actually, what's the gap? A minute? The peloton is now accelerating here at this bit. Vasek's still there. He attacked on the Tyenberg, so he did with Tim van Dijk. They've got the Boenberg up now. Then they've got the Eichenberg, the Kappelberg, the Patterberg, the Eau de Quaremont, then some massive name. The E3 call Carna Melka Beka Strata, or whatever that is, and then they've the final climb. But yeah, I'm off to watch the MotoGP GG. I'm just waiting. The views are going to drop. There were 70 for the Jonas Vingegaard. I'm expecting 10 now for the rest of this stage. So I will change this poll. We're not going to go for winner. We'll go for. So it looks like we're getting a Strada Bianchi type with a massive attack from the front. And we're guessing who is going to come second now. So don't know where these riders are, but they're going to go into the... That is the poll for second if you want to even vote on him. But Van der Poel has blown this race to pieces. Let me see if I can get that acceleration on the Boenberg. Oh, no, so I haven't hit it yet. Sorry, the acceleration that I was on about in the peloton, that was from Roman Gregoire of Groupama FDJ United. Eichenberg, 2 kilometers for the front of the race. Van der Poel 55 seconds down on the breakaway. Oh, I don't even have the E3 stage up. Oh, you're kidding. Or the race up. So let me see if I can get the results for the stage 5 of the... But a massive acceleration here from Gregoire. He's still putting the foot down. Why is it? It's not loading? It's not even loading. So they are a minute down on Van der Poel. There is a small group here forming with Trentin. That's all the same. Roman Gregoire, Trentin were in it. The rest I didn't catch a glimpse. There was a rider from Visma and Ineos, but I will wait for the names for them. But as for the Volta Catalunya stage 5, the top 20, Seb Kuss 19th, only 18th, Joao Almeida 16th, a minute and 59 down, George Bennett in 15th, Landa 14th, Mass 13th, Riccatello 12th, Buitrago in 11th, Connor 10th, Utebrooks 9th, Fortunato 8th, Skelmose 7th, Evenepoel 5th, and then your top 5, which is Parapanther, Lipowitz, Lenny Martinez, Gal, and Jonas Vingegaard. But back to the E3. Massive attack from Tim van Dijk on the... what do you call the climb? I'll wait for it to load up because I can't remember the name of the climb. Live stats aren't available now for it. But there was a massive attack, about 70k to go for Tim van Dijk. Mathieu van der Poel, the only one able to go with him. And they made it across to the second group, and Van der Poel is the only one able to attack from him. So he's still got the breakaway to pass. I think it was the Tyenberg. The live stats just aren't working for E3 anymore. I think they've got the Boenberg coming up, or however you pronounce it, but I think that is up next. So I do. Why is the live stats not working? I was correct, was it? Yeah. I still can't get it up here, so I don't know. Live stats aren't available, but we have got a rider from Q36 at the front of the breakaway. Who was that? Come on, remember his name. Zukowski from Q36. He's at the front of the breakaway with Chicone from Groupama. I think that's his name. Don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but he sat second wheel in the breakaway. Connor Swift being caught by the peloton now. Is that Sam Watson at the front with Ineos? So see Sam Watson and Vasek, but Still sitting at a minute here for Van der Poel. Just a bit under a minute. I'd say no, it's a minute now. Never mind, it updated. Right, here we go. So, yeah, they've passed the Boenberg now. Yeah, Tymberg, yeah. So they've got the Eichenberg up next, which I think is what the breakaway is on. Breakaway consists De Wolf, Tronchon. Don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I'm pronouncing it. Tronchon, Luke Durbridge, Bystrom, Zukowski, and Lamberchet from Team Flanders. Van der Poel 51 seconds down. Then there's the Edward Plankert group, which consists of Edward Plankert, Dan Hule, Edward Toons, Tim van Dijke, Pepijn Rendering, Timo Killick, and Anthony Turgis. They are, try and work it out, 24 seconds down on Van der Poel, 30 seconds down on the peloton. So the Volta Catalunya has now switched over to the E3 coverage, so I can get rid of that and I can finally have one of my ears back. But onto the Eichenberg for Van der Poel, I think. Yeah, he's on the Eichenberg now. 1.2 kilometers long, has an average of 4.9%. But we have got UAE now doing the chasing. Biniam Girmay on the wheel of UAE, but UAE at the front of the peloton here onto the Eichenberg. Florian Vermeersch did have a big mechanical, I remember that. But he seems to be back at the front of the peloton with his teammates doing the work to try and potentially bring Van der Poel back. It is now over a minute, the gap. It is a minute and 4 seconds from the peloton to Van der Poel. So still possible. There's a decent gap now from the Eichenberg to the Kappelberg, so I'd say about 10 kilometers ish, maybe a bit more. So time could be made up there depending on who wants to work. But if Van der Poel catches this breakaway here, they're 44 seconds up the road on him. I don't know. So I don't. Let's see how the poll for second is looking. 57% think Patterson, 29% Laporte, and 14% say other. So that is how the poll for second is looking, as a Jonas Abrahamsen attack out the front of the peloton with Florian Vermeersch onto his wheel. Mads Pedersen at the front of the peloton trying to bridge across, but Girmay's there as well. Is that Jasper Stuyven for Quick-Step? I'm not sure. But the front of the peloton now is starting to split apart. Someone from Red Bull trying to make it across to Florian Vermeersch's wheel. I'm not sure who that is. But it is that Pithy? Might be Pithy. But it's Jonas Abrahamsen, Florian Vermeersch, as the Red Bull rider makes it across to the wheel now. So we've got a group chasing. So there's a group between the peloton and this Jonas Abrahamsen group with another Uno X rider, Biniam Girmay, Mads Pedersen, a rider from Quick-Step, which I assume is going to be Stuyven, hopefully. But I'm not sure. It is Lawrence Pithy from Red Bull. I actually got that right, yeah, fair enough. Feed zone here. Getting a bottle. It was Dylan van Baarle from Quick-Step, not Stuyven. Sorry, I just need to send a message here. Just showing a Van der Poel on the descent here of the Eichenberg. What's that? So, yeah, it is a decent. There's quite a lot. Well, I'd say nothing now until the Kappelberg. There might be a slight hill-ish, but it hasn't been marked or anything. So they're just showing the injury on his hand from the Milan San Remo. His pinky finger is all bandaged up. Obviously, that is no issue today for Mathieu van der Poel. But it is Van der Poel on his own. The gap is now actually went down. Never mind, it went back up. No, it's going down. The gap is going down. So just under a minute, 54 seconds apparently, according to the the TV numbers. 56 seconds now, so I wonder if he can be brought back at some point. That was actually my prediction for the race. I said he would attack at some point and then be brought back, and it would be a sprint finish. So let's see if I can get that right. Camera's now on the third group in this race, the group behind Van der Poel and the group in front of Abrahamsen, Pithy and Vermeersch. It contains Edward Plankert, Dan Hula, Toons, Tim van Dijk, Pepijn Rendering, Timo Kilik and Anthony Turgis. Still the same from when Van der Poel attacked from them, so no one dropping out of that group. The breakaway up the road with 6 riders in it, still the same 6 riders from the start of the day. But the Jonas Abrahamsen group has been caught by the peloton, I think. So yeah, it has been caught. It looks like Lawrence Pithy puts in an acceleration on the right-hand side of the road with Florian Vermeersch being the only one able to follow, but I don't think he's putting a big gap. Florian Vermeersch now moves to the front. The camera's now recording the sky. The small gaps opening up at the front of the peloton. Florian Vermeersch, Lawrence Pithy, a rider from Alpecin, on the wheel of those two. Jonas Abrahamsen trying to bridge across. That is Vasek at the front of the peloton trying to catch them. But I don't know who that is for Alpecin. Could be Del Grosso. He moves to the front of this group now. But Vasek still trying to do the chasing down to catch the Vermeersch, Pithy and Alpecin rider. Rendering, he's in group 2, so he's up the road from Lawrence Pithy. He's in the group with, or do you mean someone else? Let me check. No, Rendering for Quick Step, he's up the road, just in the group beneath Van der Poel and the group in front of the peloton. So he is. Patterberg, 8.3k to the hit that. It is now, what is that? It's under a minute, definitely, from the peloton. 50 seconds, maybe. So I wonder if Van der Poel is going to get dragged back in. They have that group, obviously. So it is Del Grosso from Alpecin. Yeah, Del Grosso. Yeah. I just seen it, their update on PCS. So the group chasing group 3 with Dan Hula, Toons, Tim van Dijk, the likes of them, is Thibaut Del Grosso, Lawrence Pithy, Florian Vermeersch, and Jonas Abrahamsen. Then there is the peloton, which has the likes of Vasek and Stuyven. They're the only 2 names on it. But, oh no, there's a group. Vasek and Stuyven have made it across here to the Abrahamsen group. And a rider from Decathlon. I'm not sure who that rider is. Hopefully Tabaslo Anderson would be pretty good. Pretty good for him. But we're on a massive open road here. Look at the traffic there that they've had to stop. I think if you're a worker and you're caught in that traffic, you'd be fuming. But we're on a massive open motorway here. Patterberg, 7.7 kilometers from the front of the race. That is the breakaway. They have 54.3 kilometers to go. Van der Poel 35 seconds down, and the peloton or group Del Grosso, Pithy, Stuyven, which is actually in front of the peloton now, they have 1:33 down on the peloton. Biniam Girmay. Haven't seen him since who was it that did the attack? I haven't seen him since the Abrahamsen attack, so I haven't. Van der Poel closing the gap now. Still under a minute though he's closing the gap for the breakaway, but the gap to Van der Poel from the chasing group is closing down. Apologies. So there is a big group here. Peloton, you can see them down the road. There's someone from... Oh, sorry. So the Florian Vermeersch group have caught the Edward Plankert group. So that group has been caught. So it is now just, can Van der Poel be dragged back in? Van der Poel's 27 seconds on the breakaway, and this Florian Vermeer's group is 1:20 on the breakaway, so it's going back up a bit now that they've caught this group, but hopefully they can form something, and hopefully they can work together. We've got 2 riders from Decathlon, 2 from, obviously, Alpecin, who aren't going to do jack, but 2 riders from Decathlon, 2 for Little Trek, 2 for Red Bull, 2 for Quickstep, and they all slow up. I hate that. I actually hate that. Just work. Bring them back. Does my head in. As soon as a big group forms for the chase, everyone just stops doing their work. So they brought this group back. Hopefully there are other attacks. We've still got 52k to go, but that group gets brought back and everyone sits up pretty much. Peloton now catch up to the that third group that consisted of Vermeersch, Abrahamsen, Pithy, etc. But Van der Poel, 28-30 seconds. It is ticking back and forward from that. That is how long he has got from the breakaway at the front. Peloton 1:15, so 45-second gap he has on the peloton. Koppelberg 5.6k to the front of the race, hit it. Still no changes in the front of the race. Does Poggy take Paris-Roubaix this year? I hope not. I hope he doesn't. I think it's going to be a great Paris-Roubaix between Pogačar and Van der Poel, but if he wins it, there has to be one race. There has to be one race he can't win. Milan-San Remo, he eventually won it, but there has to be one. He can't win every single race he's in. So I do think he can win it. I do think it is very, very possible. I just would prefer Van der Poel to win it, or someone else. Mathieu Van der Poel, great timing. Do you mean great timing for the position he's sat in now, or great timing for his attack? So they're just showing the group here off the back of the peloton, or a group struggling to get onto the back of the peloton. It is a massive group. On the narrow roads here. Very narrow, actually. It was attack timing. Yeah, it was. Was it him that launched? I think it was Tim Van Dijk that launched it, and Van der Poel went with him. I could be wrong. I didn't see it live. I seen the replay, but I mean, I wasn't really focusing. I was more trying to get everything else sorted. So I don't know who launched first, but I think from what I seen, it could have been Tim Van Dijk that launched first. But we've got 50k to go. You also did not see what or who or how. Who, what, why, when, or how. So what is this? This is the front of the peloton now. Coming off those narrow roads into a town at the moment here. Quick step at the front. Now Decathlon moves to the front. This is just one rider for each team. But they've still got a rider from Alpecin at the front of the peloton, obviously to do jack all in the chasing when it is his turn to do something, as the rider from Decathlon I think moves off to the right hand side and the rider from Alpecin moves to the front. But I mean, he's not going to do anything, so Red Bull attack out the front. Is this Pithy or is it Van Dijk? Who is it? But another attack out the front from Red Bull. Jan Tratnik from Red Bull attacks out the front here. Wonder what he is hoping to do here. Need to change this. What about? Sorry, it still says 65 or 65k. We've got 50k to go now. Oh. Don't think Tratnik will get far, but the gap for Van der Poel to the breakaway 20 seconds. Gap for the peloton to the breakaway is 1:11 seconds, so still 50-second gap. Not quite back up to the minute yet, but it is sat comfortably at about 50 seconds here for the past wee while. Oh, go sneeze. I was going to sneeze. Oh. Keep forgetting the drink. 2.4 for the Patterberg for the front of the race. That is how long they have got until the next climb. But after the Patterberg, it is the Patterberg, Eau de Quaremont, then a really long name climb, and then the Tigenberg. And that is the last climb of the day. So 5 more to go. We're in this little break in between the Eigenberg and the Patterberg at the moment. But yeah, still a few attacks going at the front from the peloton, which is I'm happy to see that they are chasing him down. Still not quite at the minute mark yet. If this was Pogačar, I mean, the peloton probably would have sat up at this point. But at least they're still chasing Van der Poel down. Luke Durbridge, I think, has a puncture here in the breakaway. Flicked the tyre. And then waves. I don't know if that was him waving off the car for a puncture or waving them on. But he sat second wheel here in the breakaway. Van der Poel is 20 seconds down. You can see him in the distance. He is like a shark hunting them down here. It'll not be long before they catch him. The peloton now, or group 3, which is Jan Tratnik, is 53 seconds down. And the peloton is still not in a minute. Cycling Dane Extra. Well, hello there. Welcome. Let's go indeed. Tratnik is 56 seconds on the front of the race, which is, why do I always say this and have to work it out? 33 seconds on Van der Poel, and then the peloton is 1 minute and 7 seconds on the breakaway, which is yet again 45 seconds. So still not at the minute mark. But Van der Poel will catch them here shortly. Probably attack on the Patterberg, or probably attack on the Patterberg actually. But I hope to see some movement here out of the peloton in these next few hills. That's actually pretty cool. Cycling Dana Extra. 1 kilometer now for the Patterberg for the front of the race. Let me actually check the poll for a second. 16 votes, 44% with Mads Pedersen, 25% with Christophe Laporte, 12% now for Stuyven. He was at 0 for a while, and then 19% for other. So Pedersen seems to be the high favourite for second place, but let's hope. Fingers crossed Van der Poel gets caught. Obviously not for him, but I mean for the excitement of the race, a bit of fireworks hopefully. But yeah, Jan Tratnik he's still holding his own here from the peloton. It is about 15 seconds. No, that's a lie. Why can't I do it? About 12 seconds from him to the peloton. That's what the gap is roughly sitting at. And he's been sitting at it comfortably for a while now. But all the time gaps seem to be stabilising out here, and there doesn't seem to be much movement. The breakaway up the front, still the same 6 riders. I feel like I'm repeating myself at this point, but there isn't a lot going on at the moment. Same riders up at the front. De Wolf from, yet again, apologies for these pronunciations, they're going to be awful, but De Wolf from Decathlon, Tronchon from Groupama, Luke Durbridge from Jayco, Bystrom from Uno X, Zukowski from Q36.5, and Michel Lambret from Team Flanders. And they've been out the front from the beginning. Grabbing the front group on the Patterberg. Yeah, it looks like he is going to... He'll catch them and attack them. And then after the Patterberg, there is very little kilometres between that and the Eau de Quaremont. But the breakaway do look a bit done. Patterberg up now, average 7.1%, a maximum of 14%, and it's 700 metres long. Van der Poel out of the saddle here, trying to catch the breakaway here before the Patterberg coming up. So I thought it was coming up. It's still... Wait, what? Oh, sorry, I was wondering... My PC... sorry, I'm up to date now. So they're on the Koppelberg now. I had to refresh my PCS. I was still about 5 kilometers from it. That's why I was confused. But he should catch them here after the Koppelberg, maybe the descent down to the Patterberg. But 15 seconds the gap is between Van der Poel and the breakaway. Still not at a minute. We're 56 seconds, so it's technically a minute, but not exactly a minute. Also, apologies for squeaking. It's my chair, and I'm just moving about in it, and it keeps squeaking, so that is the noise. If you can hear it, if the mic is picking it up, it probably is. But Van der Poel out of the saddle on the Koppelberg. It says 10 seconds. I think it's a bit less, maybe, onto the front group. But it does look like the breakaway here is going to become the Van der Poel group now. Fair play to them. All 6 of them out the front the majority of the day, and they are being caught 45k to the finish. So that is a good show from all 6 of these riders. Luke Durbridge, obviously the former Australian champion, but Van der Poel is now just about to hit the wheel. Didn't notice the chair sounds until I might. Yeah, no, it is one of the squeakiest chairs about, but I shouldn't even have mentioned it. But there we go, Van der Poel, what, a bike length from there, and now he is on the back of the group. This is him on the back of the group over the top of the Koppelberg. The peloton is 1 minute and 9 seconds. Don't know if that needs to be updated or not, but it has been at 1 minute and 9 seconds now. 1 minute and 8, so it is updating. Jan Tratnik still out on his own, 59 seconds on the group. So with the time it took Van der Poel to close that gap, I don't think Jan Tratnik will do it on his own. Oh, don't go to an ad break. I thought they were going to an ad break there. Pardon me. But Van der Poel just sitting at the back of this group will not need to do much until... I'm going to burp again. Pardon me. Not until the end of the descent down to the Patterberg. We'll probably see him move forward. He'll probably just sit and rest here for a moment until he has to do it all over again. But the peloton now, I think they're coming off the top of the Koppelberg. The Koppelberg, if that is how you pronounce it. We've got what teams? Red Bull, Quickstep, a rider from UAE. I think that's Vasek as well towards the front of the peloton doing the chasing. But yeah, the gap is now over a minute. Yeah, it's over a minute now with Van der Poel joining the front of the race. It is 1 minute 8 seconds. You can see Tratnik up the road there from the peloton, and then in the far distance on the helicopter, you can see all the cars behind the Van der Poel group. Is that 2.2 kilometers to the Patterberg? Or is that 2.2 kilometers between the Patterberg and the Eau de Quarmont? No, it's 4 kilometers between them. So it's 2.2 kilometers to the Patterberg for the Van der Poel group as he moves to the front of this breakaway now. Flicks the elbow for someone to come through. Is anyone coming through? Nope, no one comes. Here we go, mind games. So Van der Poel's left to do it on his own at the front here on the descent down to the Patterberg. So the breakaway is now going to be on the wheel of Van der Poel. So this is no longer the breakaway. This is Van der Poel's group with the breakaway hanging on. So who's going to be the first one to drop from this breakaway? Who's that? Gianni Vermeers? Dropping from the peloton. Yeah, Gianni Vermeers drops from the peloton. Obviously he had a good stint in the Strade Bianche. So he did... What did he get again? He got 5th in the Strade Bianche. So good stint for... Oh, never mind. He's back onto the peloton. Never mind. If that peloton wants anything, yeah, they need to get a move on. The teams need to go here. Let's get moving here because I don't know I don't know what the teams are going to say, but they need to say get a move on because Van der Poel's going to win this year. But I hate that Van der Poel's going to win and they're going to Van der Poel's won it. Let's fight for second. No, fight for first. You've still got a lot of teammates. Go for it. Because if you get it back and it goes for a sprint, it's anyone's game then. Obviously, they don't want to take that risk because just say, Visma, bring it back. Their chance decreases for the win, obviously, because UAE and Quickstep and Red Bull will be there. But at least do it. Make it a bit exciting. The gap is now 1 minute and 1 second. Big bang above me. but 1 minute and 1 second. So it's went down 8 seconds from they've hit the top of the Koppelberg. Patterberg is up in 250 meters. Phone's near dropping. Move it up here. So this is him now onto the Patterberg. It looks it. Yep, here we go. Onto the onto the cobble roads of the Patterberg. Average of 12.9%, maximums of 20%, and it's 400 meters long. So let's see who can stick with him. Let's see who sticks with him. The Wolf is on his wheel, and it looks like everyone else is dropping. So the Wolf here from Decathlon is able to stick to his wheel. Fair play to him, because he's been the breakaway all day, and he's the only one that is able to stick to the wheel of Van der Poel up this Patterberg. Here we go. We're going to hit the steepest bit now. Oh, look at this. Oh, here we go. Van der Poel out of the saddle. The Wolf is now dropping. There is a gap, but look at that steep. Wow. Out of the saddle, up that Patterberg. Jeepers. He is good, like. He is. Just look at the speed he's going up this at. See, when the peloton hits this, it is going to blow apart. And I think I might lose a lot of pace here. Jan Tratnik, he's still out on his own, so he is. It looks just, it's his Sunday ride, so it is. Oh, 40k to go, so what? We've an hour to go, and here we go. Tratnik here, the peloton is closing him down. I think that's Pedersen at the front of the peloton. Who's that on his wheel? Someone from Red Bull on his wheel, but Tratnik now out of the saddle on the Patterberg. Peloton just about to catch him. But if you look at the difference, Mads Pedersen isn't out of the saddle, but he's also going up with it with some ease. But the difference in everyone else here and Van der Poel going up it is like night and day. There's Stuyven, yeah, he's there for Quick Step at the front. Vasek still there. I see Trentin. Is that Laporte for... Is that Laporte? I don't know, but there was a rider from Visma near the front. Vermeersch was still there as well. But they're just showing them here come around the final bend towards the top of the Patterberg, and everyone's struggling. The Wolf there is still in the... You can still see him. He's a couple seconds down on Van der Poel. Stan de Wolf. Is that how you pronounce it? So I've been pronouncing De Wolf. And well, I know his first name's Stan, but the commentator just said Stan de Wolf. So at least I think that's how you pronounced it. Let's have a look at him. Second in GC at the Tour de Wallonie. See, I really need to work on the pronunciation. So I was pronouncing it right with De Wolf, or I think so. I think that's what you mean. So Jan Tratnik still out on his own. Mads Pedersen, Stuyven, Trentin. There's a group there chasing him. Pretty decent gap from this group here to the peloton. Not the biggest gap, but the peloton has split quite a lot. He's getting back on. Yeah, he is. Well, it says 5 seconds on PCS, but it did look a lot shorter than that before it. So they've got the group of 4 here from the breakaway that did drop the wheel of Van der Poel. They will eventually be caught by this... oh, he's still there. You can still see him. If he catches on, fair enough, but I highly doubt it. We've got the Eau de Quarmont up next. 2.2 kilometers, average of 4%, and a maximum of 11.6%. This is a biggie coming up here. What's the group for? They don't have the time up for the Mads Pedersen group or anything yet, but they've got the group for the... They've got the group... Another phone call. got the group for the rest of the breakaway, which was dropped there 20 seconds down. Well, actually, no, I take that. PCS says 20 seconds. The TV says 38 seconds down on Van der Poel. So I don't know what the Mads Pedersen group is looking, or if the peloton has caught them yet. So yeah, there's no cameras on Pedersen or anything yet, so I'm waiting for the camera. They've got the cameras on Van der Poel, who, poor Stan, yeah, he seems to have gone now. Couldn't see him in the distance there, but a very, very good ride from him in the breakaway today. So the peloton is together, 1 minute and 1 second down, and no one's going to work together. It's going to be a battle for second. Trenton's at second wheel. I think that is Abrahamsen in third wheel, Stuyven in fourth wheel. But yeah, the Wolf has lost all the energy. But yeah, he looked very good there, sticking onto the wheel of Van der Poel and almost catching him. They're under the Eau de Quarmont now. 1.3k to go on this climb for Van der Poel. And the time is increasing. 1 minute 16. There's no way. Crowds on the... You always love seeing the crowds on the climb, like. But Van der Poel is doing it solo. One kilometer left for this Eau de Quarmont. They're showing the helicopter view from between Van der Poel and Stan de Wolf, and it's not as big as a gap as I actually expected, to be honest. I thought he'd completely gone, but he seems to be holding his own at 15 seconds. Look at the crowds here. A minute and 18 now as the peloton hit the Eau de Quarmont with UAE putting a big acceleration in. It looks like Morgado from UAE putting in a big acceleration at the front. Someone from Ineos. Who's that on the wheel at Ineos? Trenton is in third, but there's someone from UAE here. Not sure who it is. They've got, Magnus Sheffield, Ben Turner, Joshua Tarling. It's not Sam Watson, I know that. Or Connor Swift. But I don't know who that is for Ineos in second. But there is a gap from Morgado to the rider from Ineos, and then there's a gap from that rider to Ineos to the peloton. Cameras on Stan de Wolf here as he's about to hit his... Well, actually, that's Van der Poel. 600 meters, but Stan de Wolf 23 seconds now, so the gap is increasing, unfortunately. But there's a massive performance from him, especially there in the last 10-15 minutes. No record-breaking win for Mads. I know. Van der Poel is getting the hat-trick, though. Van der Poel gets a hat-trick. There's always Sunday where Mads can do the hat-trick and win for the fourth time. That Gent-Wevelgem, or in Flanders Field from Middelkerke to Wevelgem, however you want to pronounce it. He'll win it if he wins it on Sunday. He'll win it for a fourth time. That means he is the record holder for that. But with the form Van der Poel's in here, he's gonna do this, and it is gonna be a very big the camera. Did you show the camera up the road? And the whole crowd was stood in the middle of the road. I thought that was the end of the road. I said, what is going on? What was I saying? With Sunday, Van der Poel looks like he's another massive mega favourite for Sunday, even though you sometimes get sprinters in good positions for Wevelgem. But if it ends up like this, I mean, Stan de Wolf, camera's still on him, 27 seconds, as he's just past the bit there that I was talking about, where I thought the road had ended with the crowd standing in the middle of it. He's just about to finish the Eau de Quarmont now, so he's actually not that far behind, to be honest. The time for the peloton, 1 minute and 7, I've completely forgot to change the kilometer. It says 50 kilometers left. There is 36, so I'll change it to 35. Because why not? But now we've got the rest of the breakaway who was there at the start of the day. As Morgado now passes them. So Morgado's putting in a big acceleration here. So that Ineos rider was Magnus Sheffield. Laporte is there from... well, hold up. It says on PCS that there's a group chasing, but it's Morgado on his own as he passes this breakaway, the remainder of the breakaway. There's 2 riders in the back. One from Red Bull, one from Visma, and one from Ineos. So I hope that is Christophe Laporte. Might be Magnus Sheffield. Don't know who the Red Bull rider is. Could be Lawrence Pithy. He's been doing pretty good this race, and he's looking pretty good in this race. Look at the crowds on this road. And this is just a flat road. Obviously no space on the on the Eau de Quarmont, so they've all had the filter out onto the road. There's a cyclist on the footpath trying to race Van der Poel. Brilliant. Right, so whoa, someone from Movistar here on the wheel of Morgado. Is that Bystrom or is that Abrahamsen? The Bystrom was in the breakaway to begin with. 6-2, or whoever it is. It is Abrahamsen from Uno X. No, it's not. It's Bystrom. It's 6-2. It is Bystrom. So he was from the original breakaway. He's now on the wheel of Morgado, who has dropped the rest of them. So this is I'm surprised Bystrom was able to hold on. Fair play to him. We've got the peloton now. They were going to close them down. It does look it, but the gap from the peloton or the group Morgado, whatever way you want to put it, there's not that many seconds in between them, but it is 1 minute 3 seconds. As is that Mads Pedersen. Yep, Mads Pedersen now attacking. Well, not attacking. It doesn't even look like he's attacking. Sven Erik Viking Power. Yeah. he's went into his extra tank of energy and found it somewhere. So we've got Tibor Del Grosso. Who is that? Who is that for? It just showed his name, but he's from Norway. Couldn't quite get it. Hagenes he was the one with Segard on the Grand Prix de Denon. So it's him, Del Grosso, and Mads Pedersen now breaking off the front of the peloton. Are they making the formation for potential echelons? They're doing that. I can't remember what you call that formation, but they're doing that. But they're all single file, but they're all waving all over the road. So I don't know if the wind's bad or what, but Morgado's putting in a good shift here. $34.4K to go. This race may wrap up quick. I don't have all day. We know the winner, but let's hope the chasing group ride pretty quick to wrap it up. It's cold and a bit windy. Oh, that's all you need. Echelons to split the peloton apart trying to chase Van der Poel. That's the last thing you need. So we've got Vasek here at the front of the peloton. He just pulled off to the side as soon as I said that, but camera's back on Van der Poel. 33.7k to go. He's 31 seconds on Stan de Wolf, who's still out. And we've got a minute and 3 seconds on the rest. Hopefully they can get that below a minute. They've still got this massive climb, which I'm scared to pronounce. It's the E3 call. That's the first part of it. I will not pronounce the rest of it, but they've still got that climb to go, and then they've got another cobble sector, and then the Tijenberg to wrap it up, and then it is a smooth sailing to the finish. Whereas actually there's a bit of a hill towards the after the Tijenberg, but it hasn't got a name or anything, so I don't know if it's that steep. Karnmelk Beekstraat. See, when you break it down like that, it's 10 times better. But looking at it like that, it is what I would call double Dutch. Buttermilk Street. See, that's pretty cool. That's people who can speak 2 different languages. It's cool the way you just translate that with no issues at all. Camera back on Stan de Wolf. 35 seconds, so it's still He's still holding it in around the 30-second mark after being in the breakaway all day, and he's still got 32.5 kilometers to go. So this is a massive 28. Still a massive show from him. Now, who's this? That is not Trenton. No commentator said his name, but I need to see it just to. Marco Haller from Austria. He now attacks out the front. But the peloton now has, I don't even know if you could call it a peloton. Morgado and Bystrom still, quarter PCS still out the front. The pole for second, 42% Pedersen, 26% Laporte, 16% Stuyven, and 16% other. So we are now close enough, just about to hit the Carnamelk Beekstraat. Thank you, Johnny. We're just about to hit it. So this is it. 4.9% average, maximum of 18%, and it is 1.5 kilometers long. So another pretty steep climb coming up here. They're just showing the longest victories for a solo win. Van der Poel in 2024, 47 kilometers. Then Van der Poel again, 2025, 38 kilometers. Cancellara, third in 2013 with 35 kilometers. How long has he been solo here? He attacked on the Patterberg, so. But he wasn't solo, was he? No, he did go solo. I don't know. It's within 30, 40 kilometers. That is what he is. That's what he has went solo at. So he will go into the top 3, I think. Knock Cancellara out of it. But the peloton now just hits onto the Carnamelk Beekstraat. Again, close to 40k. So yeah, he's going to take up the first 3 positions on the. Everyone he's done is now in the top 3 for the longest solo break, unfortunately. But yeah, they may just name this the Van der Poel race at the moment. Hat-trick of wins, like that is very, very good. Who's this now? They've got a Groupama, which I'm gonna guess is Tronchon, but then a rider from Visma, who I'm not sure it is. It is Tronchon. See, he pronounced it and then it clicked into my head. Why did I not pronounce it like that? So I've been calling him Tronchon, and the commentator goes Tronchon, and I'm like, obviously, why would I not pronounce it like that? So Van der Poel now, 200 meters to the top of it, out of the saddle. Literally just Sunday training ride for him. No issues at all. 44 seconds on De Wolf now, and the peloton is 1 minute and 13 down. Yikes. De Wolf's, yeah, he's still 30 seconds on the peloton, but, well, actually, no. It's down now. It's about 22, 25 seconds now. According to the TV, he's 48 seconds down. The peloton's 111 down. So he should get caught here pretty soon, but yeah. It is a Van der Poel win. It's pretty much the Strade Bianche over again. Is the 5th stage finished? Yes, it has. If you would like an update, I will gladly give you one, because there's nothing happening in this E3. So stage 5, Vingegaard attacked out the front, and I mean, don't really need to say much else. He ended up winning. So he wins. In second was, can't even remember. I need to bring it up. Hold up. Felix Gal got second, Lenny Martinez in third, Florian Lipowitz fourth, and Parry Pantre in fifth. If you wanted any other riders, Remco Evenepoel comes sixth, a minute and 38 down. Landa and Maas come 13th and 14th, about a minute 45, minute 50 down. Joao Almeida 16th, a minute and 59 seconds down. Tom Pidcock crashed going down the final Category 1 climb. I don't even know where he finished. Let me have a look. Let me see. Where did Tom Pidcock finish? Oh, yikes. There he is there. Tom Pidcock, half an hour down, 116th. Oh, dear. I would love to know what happened there. But that is what happened in the Volta Catalunya. Vingegaard launched at the perfect time and caught the group that was up the front, consisting of Lipowitz, Gal, Lenny Martinez and Parry Pantre, and then he just did what he does best. Win. So back to the E3 Saxo. 30 kilometers to go. Morgado, Jonas Abrahamsen and Hagenes from Visma Lease Bike have caught Stan de Wolf, and they are now chasing down this group of three. Now, this group of three could catch Van der Poel maybe. This Remco more than 1 minute. Yeah, he was... Florian Lipowitz attacked at the front with Gal and Lenny Martinez and Parry Pantre. Remco stayed on Vingegaard's wheel, and then when Vingegaard attacked, he stayed there for a bit and then ended up dropping and finished a minute and 30. What did I say? Minute and 38 down. Something like that. But like I was saying, this group here with Vermeersch, Hagenes and Abrahamsen could definitely take a big chunk out of this minute gap on Van der Poel, which is what I'm hoping to see. These three could do it. Stan de Wolf is with them. Stan de Wolf is with them. And we just get an ad break, so... Oh, great. Whilst I'm on an ad break, I will continue to say, don't forget to subscribe. I'm live for the rest of the week. Let's wait for what the excuse will be today. Oh, great. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm live to the end of the week with the rest of Volta Catalunya, the Gent Wevelgem. Then I'm live next week. Then I'm live the week after, and then I'm live the week after. Then I'm live for the week after that until the season ends. So any chance I can get to go live for the World Tour races this year, I will be live. So subscribe to stay updated, as I should say. You can follow my TikTok and Instagram as well, the Final K. Post race recaps, predictions, and just any other news that I feel like covering. But yeah, I was hoping the ad break would be finished after that, but it's not. So still on an ad break. I will resort to PCS here for the meantime. Nothing's changed. 55 seconds apparently for the Vermeersch group on Van der Poel, so it's under a minute. That is good to see. Peloton is 10 seconds down on that group, which is not good to see, because if Peloton catches them, I don't think the gap will go down under a minute again. But we've got the Varent cobble sector, 2 kilometers long. That is up next. I'll probably miss it with this ad break, but then after that is the Tijenberg, 0.9 kilometers, has an average of 4.5%. But if you are joining and you haven't seen anything Van der Poel's out the front, a minute up the road on the rest. He attacked on the other climb, the Tijenberg. So he attacked on it with Tim van Dijk, or Tim van Dijk attacked and he went with him. It was one of the two, and we ended up getting Van der Poel doing what he does best, drop everyone. So yeah. You can vote on the poll in the chat if you want for who you think is going to come second. So far, Mads Pedersen is in the lead at 45%, Laporte 25%, Stuyven and Other are both on 15%. But at the moment, if it stays as is, could be looking at a possible Abrahamsen second. Now, there was someone who left a comment on my YouTube video preview and my TikTok that Abrahamsen was going to finish in the top 5, and it is looking pretty good. And he has looked pretty good. He's tried to get in a few breakaways in the Tirreno, which he got caught in the final kilometre in the last stage of the Tirreno, and then there was another stage towards the start he tried to attack in the final 15-20k. He got 24th in the Milan San Remo, and he got 17th at Omloop. So it is not a bad start for Abrahamsen, and when they're talking about breakaways, like he's looked up for it. but we've got the coverage back, thankfully. I am uploading my In Flanders Field. I hate this name. I'm going to call it the name, but I hate saying it. In Flanders Field from Middelkerke to Wevelgem. I've got my preview for that going out. It should go out later today. I'll let the E3 and the Volta Catalunya die down a bit, and then I will release the video for it. Obviously, it's on Sunday. But we have got Van der Poel now hitting the Variant. 2 kilometers long cobble sector. After that is the Tijdjenberg. And then, yeah. The gap now is 47 seconds. Oh, don't give me false hope. Do not give me false hope. That made me live 2.5 hours. Jeez. 1.6k to go on the variant, so this cobble sector obviously it's like walking to him. It is just he's just gliding over it. 23.8k to go, so I can change this now. I'm actually going to change it to 20k. So if you are watching, it's not 20k, it's 23.7, but I'm changing it to that because I'll forget to change it to 20k if I change it to 25. But Hagenez, Vermeersch, Jonas Abrahamsen, and Stan de Wolf are now onto the variant, or however you pronounce it. I'm sure you pronounce it with some fancy accent, but I'm calling it the variant. They're onto it now as the peloton now hits it. And the peloton ain't catching anything because they have got one Alpecin rider at the front of it. Vasek in second wheel. Is that Niels Pollitt on third wheel? So he'll not do any work, neither will the Alpecin rider, because obviously Van der Poel and then Vermeersch. But it looks like we're looking at the top 5 here potentially, depending on anyone else drops on the Tijdjenberg or there are any other attacks. Because I don't see the peloton catching this group before here. And if Stan de Wolf can hold on and get a top 5 in this after being in the breakaway all day, that is a mental ride from him. So Abrahamsen at the front on this chasing group, Hagenez in second, and Vermeersch sat in third. Vermeersch obviously came third at E3. He was the one that got away with Van der Poel. Well, he actually got away on his own. Van der Poel got away with him after the crash from Plumiers in the Tudor, where he lost his 2 front teeth. But he got third on it. Hagenez got, he was in a breakaway with Alex Segard on the Grand Prix de Denon, which I think Hagenez attacked too early and looked like he was going to win it. Then Alex Segard attacks him, goes solo to get it, and the peloton catch him, which was unfortunate, but it's good to see him here at E3. And like I said, I've already spoke about Jonas Abrahamsen, couple breakaways during the Tirreno. Look pretty good, but they are our 4. Obviously, Stan de Wolf as well. I can't remember if I mentioned him, but he's in it as well. They're the 4 chasing. They are 48 seconds. So it is coming down gradually. They're still on the variant. Peloton is now 1:12. Come on, Vermeersch, Abrahamsen, and Hagenez. You can bring this back, definitely. Mads Pedersen now at the front of the peloton doing a lot of work. So he's at the front of the peloton. It is, yeah, I'm hoping to stay away as well. But it's 20-second gap now. And with Pedersen ripping it apart here at the front, it could go down quite drastically. It is 1.8 kilometers for Van der Poel to the Tijdjenberg. But does he have any teammates left? Is Vasek still there? I'm surprised Mads Pedersen's at the front, and he does. I thought my original thought was Van der Poel would attack, and Little Trek would have enough riders to bring him back and do what they did in the Milan San Remo between the Cipressa and the Poggio. Go to the front with the majority of your team and just drag him back. But I've only really seen Vasek for Little Trek being there. I don't even see him there anymore. So I think it's down to Mads Pedersen to get a result here. I see Christophe Laporte there sat in about 4th wheel. But we've got 2 riders for Alpecin at the front. This team for Alpecin are playing it perfectly. Like 2 riders sat at the front, just Sunday stroll. Like no one else is working, which is unfortunate for the peloton and unfortunate for us. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. No. Oh. Jasper Stuyven now attacks off the front. Who can go with him? Everyone looking at each other. Where'd Mads go from that group? But Stuyven now attacks off the front. That is good to see. He obviously top 5 and top 3 at this race before. So he goes off the front now. Obviously, this is his first cobble race as well. He was meant to ride an omlot but got ill. So this is his first chance at the cobbles this season. He did ride... what did he ride? Was it Milan San Remo? It was one of the big Italian ones. Let me see how wrong I am. It was Milan San Remo. He got 7th in Milan San Remo. Got 3rd in a stage at the Paris-Nice. So he was actually one of my riders to watch in my preview. So glad to see he is doing something. But Stuyven at the front, well, out the front of the peloton, still a rider from Alpecin at the front. Why is no one like clocking on to the fact Alpecin's riding at the front? Like if there's a team in here, I see Vasek now. So Vasek now tries to come to the front of the peloton. The rider from Alpecin accelerates to go beside him. Alpecin are playing this perfectly with the peloton just not pacing. The group for the second, the Vermeersch group, is still at 48 seconds. No difference there, unfortunately. As soon as I say that, it goes down to 44 seconds. Every time I say something, it changes. So we've got the Tijenberg up here next. Van der Poel is just about to hit it. The group chasing is on there's a wee small descent down towards it. So that is where they are currently at. 5.6% average and a maximum of 9%, 750 metres long. So not the steepest of hills today, but it is the final hill to wrap up this E3 Saxo Classic, where the final 20k are flat-ish. The final 14k are flat, but I'd say from about 18 to 14, there's a bit of elevation. Big inflatable rubber duck at the side of the road with a big inflatable. I don't think that was inflatable. I think that was actually a mushroom statue. But the Vermeersch group is now on the Tijenberg with, yet again, Vermeersch, Hagenez, Abrahamsen, and Stan de Wolf is still there. I keep getting the sensation to sneeze here. Tijenberg, 200 metres for Van der Poel to hit the top, so he has done that with ease as per usual. The crowds on this road as well. Yeepers. So that is Van der Poel at the top, turns left at the top, and I think it is a small descent down towards a potential another hill, which I keep mentioning, but I don't know if it is going to be a hill or not. It isn't named or anything, but it sticks out a wee bit on the route. $39 seconds now for this chasing group. 40 seconds. Vermeersch at the front, Abrahamsen second, Hagenez third, Stan de Wolf in fourth wheel. But it's 35 seconds now. Are we here? This is probably one of the only times I'm cheering for UAE. Vermeersch is, if he can catch, he's obviously at the front doing quite a lot of the work. He turns around, looks at Abrahamsen, shows his, I think they're going to start arguing now, and that's that. Stuyven now looks like he's going to get caught by the peloton here. But if no one works with Vermeersch, I think this will be the first time that I am cheering for and agreeing with UAE. Why Abrahamsen or Hagenez, you aren't working with him? Obviously they're probably wrecked, but still. If these four bring Van der Poel back, that is massive. To catch Van der Poel, potentially get something out of it. Don't know if you get the win, because by the time you catch him, Van der Poel, I don't know. But I would be surprised if they don't start working together. They are throwing away a perfect opportunity to make a bit of history here. I anticipated the group. Mathieu Van der Poel anticipated the group and peloton behind him not working. It's like the same with Pogačar. When he attacks, everyone else just stops working and then fights for second place. But this is the one. You're 33 seconds down. There's 17 kilometers to go. 34 seconds down. You have 4 riders chasing Van der Poel. This is a perfect opportunity to reel him in. A perfect opportunity. Obviously, he's like a horse here with the power on his legs. There's a fan beside him. See if this fan hits a pothole and goes flying over the handlebars. He's screaming at him. There's another fan. Everyone's trying to ride alongside Van der Poel. 36 seconds, so it's leveling out at about 34, 35, 36 seconds. It's staying in and around. Group 3, which is Stuyven, who I don't think has been caught by the peloton yet. I'd say there's small gaps there, but he is a minute down. Right, so they're giving a helicopter shot here. There's no way you need... How many motorbikes do you need around Van der Poel? Van der Poel has 3 cars and like 6 motorbikes on him. Right, here we go. Stan de Wolf. I thought he had dropped. He's not. This gap is getting closer. 17k to go. Come on, work together. Bring it back. I'm changing that to 15k. It is 16.8k, but I'm just changing it because I'll forget to. So it looks like if they can keep this up, it looks like this group, we're looking at the top 5 here. It just depends what order we're looking at. As Groupama FDJ now move to the front at the peloton, Stuyven looks like he's going to get caught here. I think he might sit up here. I think he's taking a sip of the water. And the peloton will drag him in. But Alpecin seem to have moved off the front of the peloton, which is good to see. Obviously for us, but yet again, Alpecin have done brilliant in this race. But there's Mats Pedersen. Where's he? Is he dropped? They've got the camera on him. I said, is he dropped? Because they know he's got a bike in front of him, so I don't think he's dropped. Nah, he's not. He's at the very back of the peloton, though. Right, attack from Movistar out the front. Who is that? The commentator just said his name, but I want to see it. Roger Adria. That is who has attacked out the front for Movistar, apparently. So he attacks out the front. The gap is now 30 seconds, 31 seconds. Come on. Oh, just get this gap down. Make it a bit more exciting here. 15.7k to go right now. The peloton, 59 seconds. The group chasing Van der Poel, 32 seconds. So we've got a race here with the final 15k. So let's hope they keep at it. Hagenez at the front of this group chasing. Vermeersch now moves to the front as Hagenez pulls off. Abrahamsen in second wheel. And Stan de Wolf, who's been in the breakaway all day, kept up with Van der Poel on the Patterberg and is now in the chasing group, chasing him down. Massive, massive ride from Stan de Wolf at Decathlon. But Van der Poel here, still comfortable as ever at the front. Got that pinky finger bandaged up though, like I mentioned earlier when they showed it. Obviously from his crash in the Milan San Remo. At the director's portrait, I can't remember his name, but he's hanging out the window, like... I can't remember what you call him, but I remember him from the Tour de France Unchained, that series on Netflix. I remember him from that. But he's hanging out the car window shouting at him. If Van der Poel's going for the hat-trick and gets caught by this group before he gets a hat-trick, I think if it comes to a sprint, I think he still will get it, like, but even so. Come on, they're just showing slow motion replays. I want to see the PCS says the time's 30 seconds, 32 seconds. Philip Rudhoft. That's his name. He reminds me of an actor. I can't remember the actor's name, but he's like the spitting image of an actor. So he is. That's why I always recognize him, because every time I see him, it reminds me of an actor. But Florian Vermeersch now pulling at the front of this group, 30 seconds. The peloton's gap is now 1 minute and 3 seconds with 2 Red Bull riders at the front currently. Pithy at the front of it. That's another Pithy, another brilliant race from Pithy and Red Bull. They've done attacks out the front, yet again controlling the peloton, and they still have a decent amount of teammates left. So they seem to have got their classics or their one-day race team sorted. They just need that one person in it to get the win, because they have the team to do it. They just need that one rider. Where did I tip that? 13k or 12.8k to go. The gap is 28 seconds. 27 seconds. Back up to 29. So this is... I think Vermeersch is the most comfortable in this group chasing. I think Abrahamsen and Hagenez are struggling. I think Stan de Wolf is completely done, but he's at the back, and I don't know where he's finding the rest of his energy from, but fair play to him. It's sitting about 28 seconds now. It's averaging out 12.1 kilometers. They're hitting 12k. I will change just whilst I remember. I'm going to change this to 10k. Not 10k, not 10. It's 12k, but I'm going to forget to change it when it goes to the 10k. But still, 2 riders from Red Bull at the front doing the pacing. Group 2 will stay away. You don't think they're going to catch them then? It's back up to 31. I think they'll bring it down. I think they'll bring it down to 15 seconds. I really want them to catch him here. 27 seconds now, but they've got a motorbike right on his wheel. Is there not something I seen the Lantern Rouge talk about it, and I seen someone else talk about it on YouTube, that if you have a motorbike or a car behind you, that actually helps you race. So why have they got a motorbike right on? They've got a car right in the back of this group, and they've got a motorbike right in the back of Van der Poel. Don't know how the physics works for that. But apparently, if there's something behind you, it helps you move forward. I don't know, but 23 seconds, 11.1k to go. Groupama FDJ with 2 riders and Red Bull with 2 riders at the front doing the majority of the pulling here. They need to do this. Hagenez, Vermeersch, De Wolf, Abrahamsen, they need to do this. 11k, 26 seconds. The peloton is now 54 seconds. This is big riding from Groupama and Red Bull. So fair play to both teams here. I'm surprised Decathlon's not at the front, but they've still got Stan de Wolf out there, because Decathlon have about 3 or 4 riders in that peloton. 24 seconds. Abrahamsen at the front, Hagenez in second, Vermeersch third, Stan de Wolf in last. Well, not last, in fourth wheel, sorry. 10.5k to go. $27. 24. Why does the time do that? 25 seconds. Round this bend for Van der Poel, no issues. He hits the 10 kilometer mark now, so 10k to go. In this E3 Saxo Classic, Van der Poel is out the front on his own with a gap of 25 seconds to the chasing group, which consists of Stan de Wolf, Hagenez from Visma Bike, Florian Vermeersch and Jonas Abrahamsen. Behind them, 48 seconds down on Van der Poel is the peloton, which has the likes of Stuyven, Mads Pedersen. There's a bunch from Red Bull, a bunch from Decathlon. Groupama FDJ are also there as well. It helps the slipstream behind you. Fair enough. "24 seconds here. Got a bit of an uphill here before they didn't be going over a bridge here for the motorway, but it is uphill as Van der Poel gets out of the saddle, putting the foot down, trying to get over this as quick as possible. Where's this camera? Is this in the motorcycle's helmet? What? Focus is now. Right, so where Van der Poel was just out of the saddle, that is where the group chasing him is now. 23 seconds. There's no way it's 23 seconds. It has to be less than that. That didn't feel like 24 seconds. But this is brilliant work from Vermeersch, Hagenez, Abrahamsen, and obviously De Wolf, who hasn't really done much in the past bit, but can you blame him? Red Bull and Groupama FDJ brought the gap now down to 44 seconds, so they're 20 seconds off this chasing group and 40 seconds off Van der Poel. 18 seconds it's brought down to. Oh my god, they're going to catch him. I've just hit my mic, apologies. They're actually going to catch him here. 20 seconds. It's stopped going from between 25 and 30, 20, 25. It is now, and it's back up to 25, never mind. 8.5k to go. I'm going to change this to 5k because, yet again, like I always say, I will forget. But 8.5k to go, 24 seconds on the chasing group, 44 seconds for the peloton. Who's going to have enough energy to launch a sprint in this set? I think Florian Vermeersch seems the strongest. 20 seconds now. 17. Oh no, this is brilliant. 8.1 kilometers. $8K, 19 seconds, 39 for 18 seconds, 39 for the peloton. So the what was I going to say? The poll for second obviously changes. There's 22 votes on it, 50% for Pedersen, 23 for Laporte, 14 for Stoyden, 14 for other. Looks like it's going to be other for second. So whoever voted 14%, but 17 seconds now. It's dipping between 16, 17, 18. It keeps fluctuating between them. 7.5k to go. Abrahamsen at the front, Hagenez in second, Florian Vermeersch in third, and Per Stan de Wolf in fourth. Still a race. It's 7.4k. This, please, come on, catch him. If he catches him, he's out of the saddle here. Van der Poel out of the saddle, 19 seconds. The peloton seems to have leveled out at about 40 seconds. 15 seconds for this second group. Hagen is putting in a big performance here in first. So it's his turn. I think up next, it's it's obviously either Vermeersch or Abrahamsen. De Wolf ain't doing anything here at the end. So we're into the final 7k. And the peloton now are closing up here. Red Bull here are doing brilliant. Red Bull and, well, actually Alpecin here are now back at the front. Who's that? That's Christophe. It didn't mean who's that. I meant it's Christophe Laporte, but where is he? Six points. This race is opening up here. Something's going to happen. There's Trentin, Vasic. Laporte is a bit back on the peloton, but it will obviously move up towards the front. The camera is now on second group, who's 14 second. There is Van der Poel up the road with 6.4k to go as a pedestrian runs across the road. What are you doing, man? 13 seconds. Oh my god, this is going to be brilliant. Fair play. Honestly, see the four riders in this group. I know Stan de Wolf hasn't done a lot for the past bit, but the four riders, Hagenez, Abrahamsen, Vermeersch, and Stan de Wolf, absolutely brilliant. 13 seconds. Obviously, Van der Poel, always good, but 6 kilometers to go now. 14 seconds, 13 seconds. Is he going to get caught in the final kilometer? Peloton still says 38 seconds, but they look closer when they did that helicopter point of view. 11 seconds. Oh my god. Hagenez still at the front here. Vermeersch now moves to the front as Hagenez pulls off. Abrahamsen in second wheel, so he'll be up next. I think that was Anthony Turgis for Total Energies punching his thigh there near the middle of the peloton on the wheel of Christophe Laporte. Van der Poel makes a left turn, no issues on it, but there are a lot of what am I trying to think of the word? There are like traffic lights with big orange things, bollards or something. I know they're not actual bollards, but they're big obstacles anyway on a tight turn to the left. As Van der Poel hits the 5k mark, as it hits 10 seconds, it just went up to 12. Why when I go to say it moves? The group chasing are I'll tell you when they hit the 5 kilometer banner now. They've hit it now, so that is the gap now. 13 seconds apparently. 4.8k to go. Red Bull now come around that left corner that I was talking about. They're at the front. Alpecin or third wheel, I think. But 2 Red Bull riders at the front. It is all kicking. Oh, come on. 12 seconds. 13. It keeps fluctuating between 10 to 13. Camera's back on Van der Poel, who has 4.5 kilometers to go. 8 seconds. Oh, dropped the 8. What is happening? Come on, please catch him. 11 seconds on the 5k. Well, it hit 8 there for the I'm watching on TNT, so it hit 8 there, but it's now down to 10. You can see him up the road on the helicopter. Oh my days. Van der Poel looks around to see how far they actually are behind him. Florian Vermeersch now, his turn. Abrahamsen still in second wheel, Hagenez in third, and Stan de Wolf at the back. But 4k to go for Van der Poel. It seems to be levelling out at 10 seconds, 12 seconds now. Keeps going up. Come on, go down. We need more down. Abrahamsen's turn at the front. Go on, mate, power. Give it a bit of kick. So Abrahamsen's at the front here. Hagenez second wheel. Vermeersch moves to the back of it. 31 seconds for the peloton, I may add. 8 seconds now. Apparently you can see Van der Poel. Van der Poel makes a turn there now. I will tell you when the group makes a turn. The group is making the turn now. So they've hit the turn now. So that is how close they are. Abrahamsen back in third wheel. It is what is his name? Hagenez now. I don't know how I forgot his name there. 8 seconds it says. 3.3k to go now. This is, for what I expected to be a very boring race from when Van der Poel attacked, this has been brilliant in this final, 30-40k? Probably a bit less, but 8 seconds, it seems to be leveling out. He hits the 3k. Van der Poel looks to be struggling here. His body's moving side to side, and rightly so after this big performance, but it is 8 seconds now for Vermeersch, Hagenez, Abrahamsen, and Stan de Wolf. They're closing the gap. It's getting closer. Oh my days. The peloton is... That's not the peloton. That's still the car. I thought that was a peloton. So Van der Poel made a turn there. The chasing group makes a turn now. Vermeersch is doing a lot of work here. I'd say him and Hagenez seem to be the main ones. Abrahamsen... all three of them are doing, I'd say, equal amounts, but I think Florian Vermeersch is the main guy. 7 seconds. It is so close here. You're right. The helicopter view here, 2.4k to go. It is so close to 1k, 7 seconds. Does Van der Poel have enough for a sprint? Does anyone in the group chasing have enough for a sprint? Oh, 7 seconds. So they've hit 2 kilometers to go now. So I'll tell you, Van der Poel hits the 2 kilometer banner now. This is the second group. They are about to hit it now, so that is how close they are. Stan de Wolf is now at the front. You don't want him at the front. He's been out all day. Vermeersch now moves to the front. It is so close. 6 seconds now, 1.8 kilometers to go. Van der Poel is looking for any ounce of energy he has got left to try and do this. But they're going to catch him. I think they've caught him here. 5 seconds. But who's going to have enough for a sprint? Hagenez now moves to the front. 5 second gap. Oh my days. Van der Poel hits a corner. The group hits a corner. So 4 seconds. This is brilliant. 1.4k to go. The gap is it's so close. It is just there. If this guy, I think I don't know who's going to... Abrahamson maybe for the sprint. Stan de Wolf, if he has enough in the tank. He hasn't really done much work, but he's been out all day. Florian Vermeersch moves that. Van der Poel looks over his shoulder. 1.2k. 4 seconds. I think Van der Poel will have enough in the sprint here. 1.1k. 1 kilometer to go. I think they've got him here. It's so close. There's literally, I'd say there's about 5 bike lengths between them. 1 kilometer banner now. Oh, what's going to happen? Vermeersch at the front, Abrahamson in second, Hagenez third, Stan de Wolf fourth. Van der Poel is out the front still. 3 seconds according to PCS. They've got rid of the time gaps now. They all stop and start looking at each other. Van der Poel's won it. What are they doing? Why do they ruin that? That is pure. What a way to ruin it. What a way to ruin it. Vermeersch looks for someone to take a turn and no one takes a turn, so he throws the head up. Says, now you can... Sprint opens up. Vermeersch launches on the right. Abrahamson doesn't seem to have anything, but it is Vermeersch that does seem the strongest in the sprint. Van der Poel is going to take the win. What an unfortunate end there. That is... But yet again, sorry, take nothing away from Van der Poel. A brilliant ride. As he gets the hat-trick, he looks done. He looks wrecked. Hands in the air. 3 in a row. As he crosses the finish line, Van der Poel gets the hat-trick at E3. Hagenez comes in second. Florian Vermeersch third. Stan de Wolf gets fourth. And Abrahamson in fifth. What? That's so unfortunate at the end there. They literally, I'm not even kidding, they were about 2 seconds off the back of him. And Florian Vermeersch throws the head up and says, nah, I'm done. I think if they had caught him, I think he would have got beat. I don't think he had anything for the sprint. That is so unfortunate for the... But who'd even blame? I don't know who to blame there. I'm not going to try and blame anyone, but... Florian Vermeersch out the front, throws the head up, says, screw yous. I don't know what happened, but that is very unfortunate for the end. We're looking at a very exciting one. But fair play to Van der Poel. A very, very big ride from him. Oh, he's done. He's like hanging over the handlebars here. He is completely wrecked. His teammate comes up beside him. But yeah, that's the top 5. Van der Poel first, Hagenez second, Vermeersch third, Abrahamson fifth, sorry. Stan de Wolf from Decathlon. Massive ride from him in fourth. Very, very big performance from him. He was in the breakaway all day. He was able to go with Van der Poel on the Patterberg when he did catch him. Then he was on his own for a bit. Florian Vermeersch, Abrahamson and Hagenez all attacked. He latched onto the back of them and he took it home and got a fourth. But that is I can't believe they didn't close that gap. That is so unfortunate. But yeah, I'm short for time here, so I'm going to have to end this. But don't forget to subscribe. Great stream. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. That means a lot. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. I need to go here. So don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Yet again, I'm live for the rest of the week. Live for again, whatever, Middlekirk to Wevelgem, whatever it is. But yeah, thanks for watching the final K. Actually, sorry, Rider of the Day, I'm going to give to Stan de Wolf for that. Brilliant Rider of the Day. And the other one, Jonas Vingegaard. But yes, thank you, Johnny. Appreciate it. And yeah, flip a 3-hour stream. Jeez. Thanks for watching the final K. And all the best. Have a good one.